In the name of the African ancestors who began the march of humankind in the womb of Mother Africa, we ask these ancestors to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. In the name of the African ancestors who began the march of humankind in the womb of Mother Africa and marched down the Nile, laying the foundations for human civilization and culture, we ask these Africans to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. In the name of these African ancestors who built their pyramids and their temples to their God concepts, to their principles, and to their moral values, who left us a legacy of architecture and monumental building unparalleled in the history of the world, we ask these ancestors who built the pyramids, who built the temples, to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. We ask these African ancestors who took this African culture and extended it throughout Africa, building the stone cities of Zimbabwe, building the empires of the Sudan, Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, building the Swahili city-states along the east coast of Africa, and in Christian Africa, asking King Lalibela and giving him the courage to build the 12 churches of Lalibela from the ground down, monuments to the world. We ask these Africans who spread this culture to the Dogo and to the Akan and to the Yoruba and to the Bankongo and to the Zulu. We ask these Africans to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. In the name of the Africans who opened up Africa, opened up the Nile Valley to other cultures and other peoples, and they came in and nurtured themselves on the African greatness. First coming in early with the ancient Hebrews, and they synthesized this culture and produced Judaism. Later coming in were the Christians, and they synthesized this culture and produced Christianity. Coming in were also the Greeks, who took the African culture, synthesized it, and produced Greek civilization. And then later, the Prophet Muhammad, and with the Arabs coming into the Nile Valley, they synthesized the culture and produced Islam. We ask these African ancestors, who as part of their legacy laid the foundations for Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Greek civilization, to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. We ask those African ancestors pulled out of Africa, taken to the hells of North America, South America, the Caribbean, maintaining the spirit of African humanity in their hearts and in their minds, and who left us this enormous legacy of struggle. We ask those Africans who resisted enslavement in the villages of Africa, who resisted enslavement in the shores of Africa, who resisted enslavement in those forts and dungeons, who resisted enslavement in the holds of those ships, who resisted enslavement when they arrived on these shores in the New World. We ask these Africans who ran into the highlands of northeast Brazil and established for 100 years the first free republic in the Americas, the Republic of Palmares, and their last great leader, Zumbi, whose spirit and sacrifice. We ask these Africans who replicated the Brazilian experience and went into the highlands of Jamaica and became the maroon-free communities. We ask these Africans who went into the backwoods of the Guyanas and Suriname and created free republic of the Suramaka and the Ajuka. We ask these Africans who went into the backwoods of Georgia and the swamps of Florida and moved with the Seminole Indians and resisted oppression. We ask these Africans who left us a legacy of struggle and resistance, the likes of which no one in the world has, to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future. We ask these Africans who created and laid for us a foundation of struggle and resistance that was passed on generation after generation, that was passed on to Harriet Tubman, who fought her way out of enslavement and became a symbol of freedom for all of us. Similarly, Frederick Douglass and hundreds of thousands of others fought their way out of enslavement. We asked those Africans who went with Boukman Dessalines to create the greatest revolutionary experience in the history of the world, the Haitian Revolution, leaving us a legacy, the likes of which no one else has had. We ask these Africans to be with us, to strengthen us, and give us a vision for the future.
Times I've had, oh God, it doesn't make me sad. Oh no, it doesn't bother me. Strength and honor is all I see. But oh, give thanks unto the Almighty God. He showed me what I had. He said, stand firm and keep the faith. Oh, your reward shall be great. So now I see the day when I'm stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. I'm stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping, stepping, stepping out of Babylon. Stepping, stepping, stepping out of Babylon. I've got no alternative in a Babylon, but I know, yes I know, there's a Mount Zion. But oh, someday his children will find the way. So don't let the devil lead you astray. Stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping, stepping, stepping out of Babylon. Stepping, stepping, stepping out of Babylon. Stepping, stepping, stepping out of Babylon. Oh, give thanks unto the Almighty God. He showed me what I had. He said, stand firm and keep the faith. Oh, your reward shall be great. So now I see the day. And now I'm stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. I'm stepping out of Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one. Oh, what a glorious day I see. Oh, what a beautiful day I see. When they're stepping in the gates of the New Jerusalem. Stepping out of Babylon. Sing it, sing it, sing, sing at Zion. Sing it, sing it, sing, sing at Zion. Sing it.
Yes, it is music such as these that help to sustain the people. Help to sustain the people in that long journey. And not only long journey, long preparation for journey. Because only for preparation have to go on before a successful long journey. Music like this. Today is the date that marked Jamaica statehood. Jamaica statehood in 1962. Usually Independence Days of really independent countries. Independence Days are usually celebrated on a day when some great event happened. Not set a date and then build it up as a great event. The date, how can a date be a great event? Usually when people really independent nations usually celebrate their independence on a date when a great event happened, either when they came to a final victory at some special point, some special date in this march to independence, them take that date and them use it because a great event happened on that day. Anyway, today, this date, and every date like this from 1945, has marked the first use of nuclear bomb, atomic bomb, the bomb that can destroy the whole world, and probably will destroy the whole population of the world one day. The nuclear bomb that maybe will destroy the population of the whole world one day, if Babylon have them way. 1945, on the 6th of August, about this time of day, at about this time of day, on the 6th of August 1945, the United States, the war finished, the Second World War finished. The Second World War finished from in the May. From in May 1945, the Second World War finished. But Japan and America was still fighting. And after the Second World War, the whole time leaders and rulers of the world, Germany and Britain and them there, were so weak, even though them fight one another to the end. Them was so weak after them finished that is a new power rise up. It was rising for some time before. A new power rise up. But that new power have to stamp it power upon the world in a no uncertain way. That new power was America. That new power never joined the war early now. That new power did take more than 2 years. Them stay out of the World War. Second World War started September 1939. And them stay out of the war for more than 2 years until December 1941. So them staying out of the war, them not going to destroy themselves in the war and waste. Them eventually come into the war. And after the major powers in the world, England and Germany, and to a certain extent Russia was so much weakened by the war. America chance now. America time to come dominate the world now. And the war finished from May 1945. And the Japanese also had surrendered to the Americans, and the Americans still dropped the bomb on them. When the Japanese dropped the bomb, when the Americans dropped the bomb on Japan on this date, 6th of August 1945, about the same time of day, in the morning, the Japanese had surrendered to the Americans already, but the Americans said, well, we have to stamp our power upon the world, you know. So we're going to drop this bomb and show what it can do. So stamp our power upon the world and show us there's a new world now, new world order. And we have the weapon to back it up. So them still drop the bomb on Japan, although Japan had already surrender. So that is the date that was chosen 17 years later to mark Jamaica independence, so-called independence, statehood. So the so-called independence of Jamaica, which is not real, it has not been realized up to now. The independence of Jamaica has not been realized up to now, and this generation know it, the younger generation of people know it. When them say the government of Jamaica, so-called government of Jamaica, if you walk and beg, not only walking and begging to survive, because most of the money them borrow for spend it themselves, but them make we have to pay it back. Them have to walk and them have to take the dictates of various powers, IMF, World Bank, United States of America, all different kind of different people. Jamaica, the population of Jamaica don't really have to be ashamed and sorry for ourselves too much. Jamaica is not the only country or the only population in the world that has been tricked this kind of way. It's not the only population that has been tricked this kind of way. Most of the so-called nations that emerged since the Second World War, since 1945, have been tricked the same kind of way. They get a form of independence, them get statehood. But them leaders, even some of the leaders who was freedom fighters, even some of the leaders who was previously freedom fighters and carried them to freedom, get tricked and start to be used as a puppet of those who was the former rulers. So most of the nations that become independent since 1945 in this similar position like Jamaica. So we don't have to be that much ashamed. We should be ashamed that we get tricked so easy, or that the people them that we entrust with certain things get tricked so easy. But it's not Jamaica alone. I'm not trying to say that there's any curse on Jamaica, or that is Jamaica alone. The majority of the countries in the world that have been recognized as nations since that time get tricked in the same way, by letting them go. It's the same trick that was carried out during the so-called abolition of slavery. You act and you talk and act and will pass a law that you stop slavery, but you just turn the slavery into a different thing and give some of the slave them authority over the rest of the slave, so that you can have a more peaceful existence. In other words, in order not to have so much soldier and police and so much surveillance going on, you give us some authority to some of the slave or some of the so-called independent people, and turn those in authority into the police and soldier over them. And you pacify them Pacifying people is different from real peace. Real peace is when people who are not at peace before come to terms and stop fight and stop war and stop hate one another and come to terms and come to peace. Come to peace and maintain peace. Now being pacified now is when you get beat down and calm down and forcibly calm down. Either forcibly or by a trick. You either get calmed down by force or by a trick, like how you would trick your baby to keep calm. You put a pacifier in the mouth of the baby believes it's a breast. And the baby go and suck air through that pacifier and keep quiet. What about the baby still don't satisfy? The only reason why the baby don't bawl, because the only object of pacifying a baby is to make the baby don't disturb you. The object of pacifying a baby or putting a pacifier in a baby mouth is not to feed the baby or not to make the baby really peaceful, but to give you some peace, give you a break. And it's not that the baby feel peaceful while you get a break. It's only that while the baby is sucking the nipple or sucking the pacifier, the baby can't bawl. So that's why the baby just continue go and suck because him don't want to let go for 1 second and bawl. Him just have to go and suck and see if him can get something out of the pacifier. So he just keep busy. So pacification is not satisfaction. It's just keeping you busy and keeping you feeling like say maybe soon some milk start to come and milk and honey start to flow. So anyway, it's not only Jamaica alone since 1945 has been pacified this way. So you don't really have to feel that much ashamed. Yes, you should feel dissatisfied, of course. But you don't have to feel that much ashamed because it's the majority of countries that have so-called attained independence since 1945 has been pacified this way and being tricked, and their so-called leaders and representatives get tricked and become an agent against the population on behalf of the same old-time outside trickster. So you find that these so-called nations, just like Jamaica in 1962 August, not really a nation, not really an independent nation, a new collection of taxpayers, that's what you become, and a collection of taxpayers, and the government now that you are told is your government and you are now free because you have your own government. It's not really your government. It's a new set of tax collectors. So you have the population is a collection of taxpayers and the government is a team of tax collectors. So in Jamaica, one of the reasons why them have to let go Jamaica gradually and make Jamaica feel like it on its own, putting a pacifier in the mouth of Jamaica, is because after the so-called emancipation and Jamaica started to kick up in 1865 behind Paul Bogle and William Gordon and some other man and woman there, start to kick up and show so them really going to free themselves. Start to kick up and show that them going to really complete the liberation. They are going to follow the example of the Maroons, but they're going to do better. Because remember, you know, we have not only to follow the examples of those that have gone before us and done well, we have to do better. We can't just follow the examples of those that have done well before us, you know. Because up to now the thing has not been perfected. So we still have to come better than those that have gone before us. Even the Christ did tell us that these things that I do, you yourself shall do these things and do greater. So therefore, the people of Jamaica start to kick up in 1865 and show signs that they are going to complete the freedom fight. The incomplete freedom fight is going to be completed by the people of Jamaica. And start to show those signs. And the Babylon get alarmed. And Babylon formed the police force in 1867 because them say we cannot afford for give these people enough time to develop and regroup and continue the liberation fight till them completely free. Because they were warned by the example of Haiti that if you give these people time, they're going to completely free themselves. So them formed the police force and said, never again must this freedom fight be resumed. And that's what the police force was formed to ensure. That the freedom fight don't resume and be completed. The freedom fight that the Maroons started and reach a far way and reach almost to victory and then get tricked. And then in 1834-38 again, we feel like we reach a further distance and then get tricked again. That is how fighting going on. That's how progress go. You fight and fight and you don't succeed at first, you don't succeed at second, you might not even succeed at third. You keep on going. Because one day and 1 year and 1 century you will succeed. So after 1865 and the people rise up and show to them how continue the fight till it finish. Then bring in the police force and then bring in the army to stop these things. 1938 again, the people start rise up from before 1938, the people start rise up again all over the Caribbean, showing signs that they are going to continue this fight till it finish. And the people will continually rise up this way again, you know. They will continually rise up this day till one day it complete. So anyway, in the midst of that, they were able to beat down Marcus Garvey and frustrate him. And at the middle of the rising up, before the rising up even reached Jamaica, Marcus Garvey get frustrated and leave here. So just before the team of people in Jamaica ready for rise up, the leader and the coach of the team get frustrated. Can you imagine? Just when the team are reach right and the training are get right, you know, the coach and the leader of the team get frustrated, and this is what we have set back sometimes. Just at the time when you're about to win, sometimes your captain go down. But you dare not give up because of that. Then can you imagine the people of the Christian church? Just about when them really ready to get going, that's the time when them leader get executed, Christ, the Jesus, get executed. You dare not give up, you dare not. So the fact that Marcus Garvey give up and leave Jamaica in 1935, and it was not until 2-3 years later that the mass of the people rise up at Jamaica, when Marcus Garvey give up and gone, them dare not give up neither. Well, of course, Babylon did infiltrate the rising up, just like when infiltrated in 1865. Infiltrated and put a cap on it in 1867 by forming the police force. Again, infiltrated in the 1930s there. And Tutu's a gangster was infiltrated into the labor movement, Bustamante, to put a cap on it. To put a cap on it and control it. But the people dare not give up just because they have been interrupted and because they have infiltrated the thing and put in some false prophet in the mid-side to take control of it. So, same time when Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie, the two of them is in exile in England. Ethiopia passing through the same thing, you know. Ethiopia passing through the same thing. Their leader of a take flight, Haile Selassie Rastafari, take flight and go to England in a refuge for a while and reorganize. Same thing Marcus Garvey did. Two of them there in England, 1936. Marcus Garvey leadership is getting weaker and weaker. Fortunately, Haile Selassie leadership is getting stronger and stronger, and the British realizing that in addition to the labor movement in Jamaica, there is also another freedom movement rising up in the form of the Rastafari movement. They cannot allow these things to rise up because they are going to cause the resumption of the liberation fight. The Rastafari movement that is growing in the middle 30s in Jamaica, and the labor movement that is bubbling up is going to manifest in the resumption of the liberation fight, and it will be successful. So Babylon infiltrate the labor movement in the person of Bustamante and others, and in the meantime a political party formed down here in 1938 after to kind of take advantage of the absence of the UNIA and Marcus Garvey, the PNP. And by 1939, the next year, is a world war that broke out. And if a world war broke out, and in the mid-side people are fighting for them liberation, people are liable to win them liberation while you are fighting, while you Babylon, you know your problem with your enemy. Your people who you capture are going to fight in the midst of your trouble and free up themselves. Babylon to the danger. So in the midst of them world war, the people in Jamaica, the people all around the world, especially in the Caribbean, go and rise up, and in Africa, go and rise up and free up themselves in the midst of your problem, your world war. 1940, them put Bustamante in a camp, them lock up Bustamante in a camp, say, he was a danger to the British war if he go lead the people them to rise up. But there was no danger of him leading the people to rise up. It's the real people out the road them they're really afraid of. By the time them have him in a camp, now they make a deal with Bustamante while them have him in a camp and say, go back out there. We're going to go plant you. We're going to plant you and hand over the government of Jamaica to you. But you're going to make him a hero first by putting in a prison and make it look like say he's an enemy of we. Now this is the same Bustamante who the Cuban government did use about 15, 20 years before to spy on the UNI in Cuba. That's what Bustamante used to do when he was in Cuba. He was a spy against the UNI and Marcus Garvey, informing the Cuban government about the danger of the UNI and the Jamaicans out in the eastern part of Cuba. And that's the experience of Bustamante why Babylon know them could have used him again in Jamaica. So them let him out of the detention 1942 after him have that hero image of being in prison. And by the next year him form a political party different from the PNP. Him leave out of the PNP and form a political party the next year 43. And by the next year 44 Babylon hand over the government of Jamaica to him. And by the next year the World War done. Because them have to counteract this rising up of the people in the form of the workers of Jamaica rising up and learning to organize, and the Rastafari movement going from strength to strength. So by the time the World War done, them have Bustamante in control. And 17 years later they are able to hand over Jamaica to Bustamante and Manley and entrust them with ensuring that this liberation fight don't continue and come to the fruition where it's supposed to come to. In other words, them counteract the liberation movement again like when them did counteract the Maroon victory. The Maroon victory in 1739 was counteracted by tricking them leaders, and Tutus them find out that them take away back them freedom from them. So it was after the World War, Tutus, the liberation movement in Jamaica was being sidelined by infiltrating Bustamante and others into it and make them feel like so these are your liberation leaders. And up to now the people of Jamaica, majority of the population of Jamaica have been under that trick, believing say the PNP and the JLP is them liberation leaders. It's a trick, but the people dare not stop the progress of the liberation movement. These things take a long time sometimes, and there's a lot of step forward and step backward sometimes. We have more things to talk about, but I want to hear from you. Good morning. Welcome straight up. Hello?
Morning, Small.
Welcome.
How are you, mate?
Fine.
You know, sometimes I listen to you. You're like an arsonist who goes around starting fire after fire.
Repeat your words again.
I say you're like an arsonist.
Arsonist.
Arsonist. Fire after fire.
Yes.
And then you complain that the fire brigade are not putting them out quick enough. You know, I just don't understand. You move from one controversy to the other. Now, let me quote something from the Bible here. Leviticus 25, verse 23. The land shall not be sold forever, for land is mine, for ye are strangers and sojourners with me. Yeah? So basically, the Bible is saying land should not be sold, and you use it and you move on. But in a modern world, if everybody is given a piece of land, suppose everybody wants to live in Kingston, the 2.7 million people want to live in Kingston, where they're going to get space for them to live there? So people are not going to be happy with the land they're given if it's not in the right area. So don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Technically, in the real world, everybody should be entitled to a living space. Yes? But it's very difficult for that to be done. Yes? And under the feudal system in this country, hundreds and thousands of years ago, the king used to own all the land. And if you were working with the king, you'd be given X amount of acres of land, hundreds of acres of land, and then the family becomes so and so, and then they would sell bits, and each generation would send sections of the land when they needed money. So don't understand.
Yes, I know you don't understand, but one thing I know that you are an agent of the place where you are comfortable, and we're not going to allow your free reign here. Bye. Next call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Hello?
Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Go ahead, please. Not hearing the person. I heard the person one time with that. Go ahead, please. Are you hearing? Please speak.
Yeah, may I hear you?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, man. What one?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know, yesterday when I was in downtown Kingston,
Yeah.
and there was that incident down there, where it is right? That a gunman take away a woman's chain. You never know that the woman is a military person or a police.
Yeah.
And the person have a gun. And I get to understand the boy take away the chain and run gone. And the woman fire some shot. And shot 2 bystanders.
Yeah.
One of them dead.
Yeah.
And one of them is in the hospital now.
Yeah.
It's a woman and a man. The woman is in the hospital.
Yeah.
I was near the scene. I go and look at it.
Which road it up now?
It happened by East Queen Street in downtown Kingston.
On the sidewalk, she was walking.
Both of them was on the sidewalk. But
No, the soldier.
No, man. I get to understand that the soldier was walking in one of those lane there.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember the name of the lane. And the gunman who picked the chain and run.
It's not 2 man.
I don't know how much of them. But I get to understand that when the gunman picked the chain and run, the woman starts fire shot.
Yeah, so here. Alright.
Shot 2 bystanders.
Yeah, you tell her that part already, so we don't want to waste the time. Use the time and tell her what else happened or what else you think.
Yeah, man. One of the person who get the shot was working in a wholesale.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. I get to understand that the lady was so traumatized and was crying, you know?
Which lady?
The people that was the youth was working with.
Oh.
They're the wholesale people.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, man. That was a serious incident, man. That's how I know. You know, the guy was involved and the woman involved in nothing at all, you know?
Yes, I sorry to know that our aim wasn't more accurate if it's so to go.
Yeah. So what go on? What you can't for doing for the independent? Some phone card?
No, some flea powder.
Oh, that's there.
Flea powder. It will make you feel good, man.
Eh?
Yeah.
Make dog feel good.
No, if you get rid of flea, you'll be alright.
Anyway, little more.
Thank you very much, yes, sir. Next one. Well, let's go for a break, please. Yeah, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm going to read that one text message, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read anymore. I really don't know if you have heard this thing. We do have our producer here. This text message said, did you see the story on CVM TV last night concerning the Children's Hospital unable to carry out critical heart surgery on kids because they are lacking in intensive care unit beds? Yes, I did see it. What a shame and disgrace. So it said, yes, I did see it. I don't know if I will be able to access any more of the text messages. We do have a producer here helping today. Next call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Not bad at all, and you?
Fine, thank you.
Good morning to your operator, little gentleman there in the studio with you.
Yes, ma'am. Long time to hear from you.
There are 4 things that come back.
Yeah.
Spoken word, the spent our past life, and the negative opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to wish you a wonderful Independence Day.
Yeah.
Right. After that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Next one, please. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
How that, Garnet?
Yeah.
You're flying, man.
Why, no, very interesting opening comments, you know.
Yeah.
put my eye to some things, you know.
Yeah.
The trick with that been going on over the years, I never quite saw it like that, you know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because I myself, if I must be honest, I myself been tricked too.
Yeah, man, the majority are matter of fact, all away for some time, and some longer than some.
Yeah, but MI6, they were just called now.
Yes.
Him read something interesting too.
Yes.
Where say the land must not be sold.
Yes, yes.
From way back, yes,
Way back,
man.
that is the way to preserve. That's the way to preserve the strength of the people.
Yeah, from way, but the brother they need to have him examine. Cause if he might read something from the Bible,
yeah,
and it tell him say the land must not be sold. How him reach forward now for talk about it can't happen because in modern time this, that, us, dead and cow fat.
He might tell you say him king capture the whole of the land and start reward him supporters them by giving them piece of land.
Yes.
Him king capture the whole of the land. That's why now in a him country and countries like him own, the sovereign or the monarch own all land, is a landlord.
Yeah.
And that's why all land is crown land. So him although him read Deuteronomy, him abolishing it.
Yeah.
And saying him king change that. That's why not this same Old Testament did one that said don't set up no king over yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Remember when Israel set up king?
Yeah.
And the prophet tell him said don't set up no king, go and take away the whole of your land.
Yeah.
That's what the prophet and the judges did warn them, you know.
Yeah.
Don't set up no kingdom, go and take away the whole of the land. And don't go and become slave to them. And your daughters go and serve them, man. And your son them go and serve him army. And him go and take and go and tax you and take away the whole of your land.
Yeah. So, but as you're talking about king, theme king that I MI6.
Yes.
Theme king was a German.
Yes. Come capture England.
Yeah.
And the monarchy, quite frequently the people that will become rule over people is frequent the people from outside will come capture you. Because when you go capture a place like that, you do, you know. You make yourself rule over them and take away the whole of them land. When you conquer people in a war, you take away the whole of them land and them is landless in their own country.
Yeah, but if you're even looking at the Arabian Gulf,
yeah,
this country where I make the news, Qatar,
yeah,
the majority of the people, they are Shia, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a small minority Sunni that rule.
Yes. So the division, even though they are all Islamic,
yeah,
there is class division. Landless, the landlord against the landless.
Yeah.
I mean the people are most landed, you know.
Yeah.
But you take away the land and make them landless and you become the landlord. So you become a ruling class, a minority ruling. But you're a minority well armed and well mounted.
Yeah.
And well collected. You have money, you have arms, and you have transport.
Yeah.
And so you rule that your farm garrison over people them.
Yeah, fundamental lesson on a day like this, you know?
Yes, sir. And as 1962, the 6th of August, the ruling government party at the time, the GLP, some of them young Turks, start to construct the same thing. The garrison, well armed and well mounted and in charge of the collection of the tax.
Yeah.
And then trying to rewrite history. Some of them still let them old age try to rewrite history. And don't want we not understand how it go. Don't want us to know what hit us. You don't know what hit you.
Yeah. Give thanks.
Thank you very much, yes, sir.
More, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Straight Up, hello.
Indeed, Brother Jerry.
Well, go on, sir.
Thank you for not taking the day off today.
Well, all right, my pleasure.
I know some people who would be very bored.
Yeah.
On a day like today if you were not on air.
Well, all right.
But, you know what they say about the head that great man reach and check.
I'm great
But
woman.
you will not admit that you're a great man anyway.
No, but great man and great woman was styling and went through the night.
That's your thing.
You think them
Indeed, and a man alone.
No, sir, I would not tile right through no night without them.
Absolutely. So you know the read that text about the hospital.
Yeah.
Many have died and cried in silence.
Yeah.
Many of the hospitals across Jamaica have been found wanting.
Yeah.
You know, I hear the tough talking, no nonsense John Williams said one day on the program, another program, that if you want to know what is hell, you take sick in Jamaica and have no money. Then you will meet the pangs and know exactly what is hell. You know, so she have a point there, those girls.
Yes, of course, I mean.
I saw fear still going up in the hospital and half the story I can tell I've never been told.
Yeah, man. And yet we know that hospital workers are under pressure. It's not really them create the pressure, you know. They, from the doctor right down to the ward nurse, not even down. From the doctor right across to the ward nurse, right across to the porter.
Yes.
And the ward maid. Are under pressure.
Yes.
Because what? The tax collectors short them money for work, short them pay, short them equipment.
Yes.
It's not really the doctor and the nurse man thing what Anglo wicked, you know. You think of them short up the bed, them?
No, sir.
Or the tax collector short up the bed?
Yes, man. Lack of resources. Sometimes.
Not lack of resources. Block of resources.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, man. Them have the resource.
And sadly, Jerry, many times persons out here who do not understand what is going on, when they meet and the grim experiences at these places, they want to, and in cases, take out their anger and those workers on the front line.
On the hospital worker. And when the hospital worker angry and under pressure to sometimes them take it out upon the public. And instead of the public and the hospital worker be in love and be at peace, the tax collector cause them to be at odds. Just like how the people and the police should be in love. And the people and the police and the army should be in love and in peace. In peace and love. Instead of that, they're at war with one another. Because of the said tax collector, the tax collector only want them to keep the people them under control. And then now, as a gunman and criminal get to infest the place. Because once a wife and a husband not in peace, you know, an infiltrator can always come in. So once the population and the armed forces not in peace, criminal and politician will them will alright. They will alright.
Jerry, I'm your British friend here. For some strange reason, when I hear him talking to you, remind me of something.
Yeah.
You know that recently one of the, what them call them, lords in the house of, I forgot what them call in England there, must be command.
Yeah. The house of lords.
Yes, he falls from grace to disgrace. Can you imagine this man who is in charge of the ethics committee and have been totally promoting good values and attitudes, responsible behavior, was caught on camera with not one but two prostitutes while snorting some substance that seems to be cocaine.
He wasn't snorting the lady them though.
Say that again?
Oh, I think he said he was snorting the ladies.
No, the cocaine. He was doing other extraordinary things to them.
Them call that one white lady, you know.
Oh, that's what I mean.
And then now some of them snort all kind of different color lady.
But you notice how over there, many men in high and low places, because they do not use what is on top of their body to control the rest of organs that are below, have found themselves falling from grace to disgrace.
The brain, yes, it's true. Thank you very much, yes, sir.
Indeed.
When I come back, I'll tell you about the British Prime Minister, Teddy Heath. Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, welcome, sir.
Yes, kind of on a short lease.
Yeah, man.
Want to get straight to the point.
Yes, sir.
We want to start a new political party. There's some things that have to get done.
Yeah.
So, you know, want to get the word out. First order of the day is get rid of GCP altogether.
Is what?
Get rid of the GCP altogether.
Get rid of General Consumption Tax.
All form of sales tax.
All what? All form of sales tax?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the problem with that is you incentivize the government improperly. Right? As long as you spend money, government gets paid.
Yes.
No matter where you get the money from.
Yeah.
Right? About income tax, government only gets paid if you have a job.
Yeah.
So immediately that lights a fire under them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the whole idea is drop some numbers. Jamaica collect 2.1 billion US in taxes last year between income tax and GCP.
Yeah.
47% of the population working right now. I have a little graphic I'm going to put up on Facebook and show my friends. So if we get only 60% of the population working with earning only 10,000 Jamaican dollar a week, which is about 4,700 US a year, would that generate more tax revenue from income tax alone than what we collect last year.
Yeah.
Understand? My ear tough gonna talk about get rid of income tax altogether and rely solely upon the GCT. That may never hear something will bother me so much yet.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is, the government needs to have stable tax revenue. But why must you enjoy stable tax revenue when 40% of the country is employed?
Unemployed?
No. 47, only 47 employed.
Is employed.
Exactly. 53% unemployed. Why must the government enjoy stable tax revenue if they're not doing their job?
Alright, here we do now. Keep calling and expanding upon your ideas, but I think you need to go to places, whether it's on the internet or physically, go to places wherever people are discussing these ideas and try to get to meet as many more people as are willing to discuss these ideas. Start move around, although Facebook internet can do some of it, but physically and electronically move around and on the telephone. But we need to hear from you some more, right, sir?
Yeah, well, that's what I tried. That's what I'm calling, because I'm in Jamaica right now.
Yeah, man. So I forgot to some other calls, but I'm interested next time. Here, sir. Good morning, welcome. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Jerry.
Yes, welcome.
Run to lock down 18 school now to come September come.
Yeah. What reason?
Because of a reason.
No. Just state at least two other reasons.
The young want him to know that if he come September morning, make sure that you see the rate of school them left, all of them have a proper water supply. And none of them not sit on as opposed to can't open because of lack of water. Because they have the whole of the summer I'm locked down 18 school, and they have the whole of the summer now to prepare a proper water supply for the rest of left. You get to me, I say?
Yes, what is the reason why them locked down these 18 schools?
Them say them underperforming.
Underperforming or not
underpopulated and underperforming.
Oh, so the underperforming ones, you see?
Yeah.
How much population those ones have?
Those into them underpopulated.
No. If there are schools that been locked down because they are underperforming, and some they've been locked down because they are underpopulated, that's two different reasons. So I want to know the one them that is underperforming, how many students those ones have.
Some have 100 yards, some have 60 yards, some have 30 yards.
No, those are the ones that underpopulated.
Yeah.
Then the ones that are underperforming now, how many those have?
Those are some of the same ones they said underperforming. But you get the picture with me. I just want to know the water their school come September morning.
Yeah.
And the next thing again, if your downtown look dilapidated, turn in our grave as a woman now. And me can tell you, you see way like how you see downtown look right now.
Yeah.
Smell right now and see right now from the building to the ground, to the road, to everywhere. That's the mind of the now present mayor. That's the thought, that's the thinking of the now present mayor. Thank you, goodbye.
Yeah, cool now. Next call. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. Hello? Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Brother Jerry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, right around again. The brother that talked to you before this, brother, you're speaking about starting a political party.
Yeah.
I think you need to understand, to start a political party, you would have to get an assignment from these government that is here. And these governments would also already supposed to have who they can take on by getting the order overseas from these big lords.
Hold on. You are saying that to start a political party, you have to get a okay from these parties here?
That's right. You have to get an assignment. You have to have money.
What kind of, hold on. What kind of foolishness you come to tell people?
Okay. Tell me how it got in. If I want to start a political party, can I just get up and start one by having money and just start it?
I asked you a question a while ago and you're not answering me.
You said what kind of foolishness?
Please answer the question.
What kind of foolishness I'm going to tell people?
Please answer the question.
And I'm saying I don't see it as foolishness because you have to have money to start a political party.
You told the public a while ago that to start a political party, they have to go get an assignment from PNP and GLP. That's what you told the public a while ago.
Exactly. You have to go and get an assignment from the lords and the ruler who owner, creator, invented political party. You cannot start nothing in the country without getting an assignment to do so.
Tell me something.
The people.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
One of your ambition is to get famous and popular in Jamaica?
No, sir.
Then why you come here with those kind of ideas and also come with a name, come make a name right and wrong? That's because you definitely want to be known as right and wrong. And you want to be known. You cannot deny that you want to be known.
Okay.
Alright, thank you very much. Next call.
Jerry.
Morning, sir.
Morning again. Look here. With that, me just going to say, why don't spoil a day like today with them kind of call?
No, not going to make them spoil.
It's foolish.
Idiot, man. Not only that. It's not only foolishness, but they're talking the foolishness because they want to be known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you ask Corbett if the man was snorting the lady.
Yes.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He had a £5 note roll up.
Yeah.
Snorting coke off her breast and all about.
What you say?
Yeah.
All about?
Yeah.
All about?
Yeah. So he was. And the next virgin now we say, him want to start a political party.
Yeah.
Get rid of GCT.
Yeah.
He want to start a political party to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Me want to get rid of income tax.
Okay.
Because I am not of the opinion that is government that must be responsible whether people employed or not.
Yeah.
Because people have this idea, the government must build factory and employ people. I know so the thing go.
No, I don't think that is the best purpose of government regulation.
No.
That is not even regulation.
Exactly. Income tax is a tax where I work and then them drape me up and take away whatever portion of my money them want before me even get the envelope.
Yeah.
Leave my money when I work for.
Yeah, what I am most interested in is to encourage that man there, him sound like a young man, to find himself in discussion with other people who are interested in that kind of, not in that idea, you know,
yeah,
but who are interested in ideas and exploring ideas to see if them worth anything, and then if them not worth nothing, you move on to some other ideas. But people who are determined to elevate the situation, start discussing with one another and learn from one another.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
we kind of short, you know.
Man, give thanks. But the man indeed was snorting the lady.
Yes, yes. And you know, say a former Prime Minister of England, a man bring some charge against him, although him dead, say. Teddy Heath, say him used to fornicate him as a 14-year-old youth or something like that.
Yeah, me
but it's not that we don't highlight and it's kind of scandal, but this is the kind of...
No, but we have to know the kind of people them.
Yes, sir.
We are mad.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, next call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Morning.
Welcome, welcome.
What is it, you say?
Yeah.
That you envisaged for Jamaica all these years, as I think you're a Rasta man, right?
All these years forward or going back?
From that time coming
from
forward.
Which time? From which time? From which time? Please tell me from which time.
In the I suppose you're disappointed with Jamaica from '62. But what it was your what you had in mind? What is it that you have in mind that has manifested itself in your group and so forth?
That has manifested or has not?
But I'm talking about your group who have this vision for Jamaica.
Yes, yes.
Listening to you, apparently, unless you don't have a vision, but I think you have something that you want, the ideal that you would have wanted to see.
Yes, yes. And not would have. I'm not speaking the police language. I'm not talking about no would have.
What is the ideal?
Yeah, not only ideal. We are determined, many of us are determined that we will resume full freedom.
Which is what
full freedom
and what it means.
Which is the situation that we was in before our people was captured, and before.
What situation was that?
Full freedom.
Full freedom.
You don't understand
what is defined full freedom that you know of? You
don't know what full freedom means?
I don't know what your definition of full freedom is.
Alright, we're going to take a break. You can hold on?
Yes, sir.
Please do so. Welcome, you are there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no. Well, before my people freedom was curtailed at gunpoint, we used to enjoy.
Where you get your source of information?
You want to interrupt me when I go on half sentence?
Mm-hmm.
You want to interrupt me when I go on half sentence? Tell me.
All right, go ahead, man.
No, I want to get something clear first. I want to get something clear first. You want to interrupt me when I go on half sentence?
No, because you're using terms and I don't like speak in vague terms. Where
all right, tell me the term.
On something, some
tell me the term. Tell me the term of disturbance.
I don't speak to
tell me the term.
You can't end the conversation.
You chat enough though. You chat enough though. You can't chat enough though.
Yeah, but I know what I'm
saying. Tell me the term.
You twist me up like how you twist up your collar and laugh at.
You are already twisted. No, you come here twisted.
Go on, man. Go on where you go.
What is the term that disturbed you that I used a while ago? What is the term that disturbed you that I used a while ago? No, don't cut him off. Him gone? He's twisted. He came here twisted. I was going to explain to him, but he's twisted. Next one. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Morning, Jerry.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Not bad at all. How are you, my brother?
Fine, thank you.
Why you make the vision there, drive up my blood pressure, man?
Hold on. Yeah, you think to me raise my voice, my blood pressure, right?
No, I'm only just saying, you know, I mean,
Hold on.
Hey.
You are giving an impression, I'm not vexed neither. You are giving an impression that him drive up my blood pressure.
Well,
Remember done, man.
Alright, don't know better, go on.
No, I'm not going done.
Alright, go on.
You are giving an impression right away that him drive up my blood pressure. You believe my blood pressure drive up?
No, man, I don't think so.
Oh, alright, go on. Yeah, wait some shot then.
Alright.
Yeah.
You see, that English guy there, Mr. Perkins used to call him half-wit, you know.
Yeah.
Alright. You see, the parliamentarian in England, you know, they try to come somehow, they investigate or they can take action against him. You know, they said what he was doing was in his private domain.
Yeah.
So they cannot take any action against him because it's somehow, you know, they abusing, they were trying to maybe use that term, you know, abusing his position while in office.
Abusing his position by doing what?
By you know, carrying out those snorting and all of those things, you know?
No, how a man snorting coke is abusing his position?
Well, in a sense, that's something like that they were talking
about. I don't think...
Because he's a public figure.
No, hold on. I kind of doubt say you get this statement right. Because if somebody has snort coke, how that become abusing his position?
He's abusing himself, but, you know, being as in a public office, you know, he should be a public figure, and it's like abusing his authority while he is there.
Which authority?
Like, he is in position in Parliament, as a parliamentarian there now.
And abusing in position, in authority by doing what?
Yeah, in a way, that's what the news was trying to bring up.
You mean bringing him office into disrepute or something like that?
Yeah, disrepute.
That's a different thing. That's a different thing.
Yeah, something like that.
No, not something like that. Listen here now. That's a different thing.
All right. The other thing we want to talk about, you see, is the traffic controller.
Yes, sir.
All right.
The air traffic control, right?
Yeah, the air traffic controller.
Yes, sir.
Last night they were talking about, I mean, $2.68 increase per hour. You know, that's a total disrespect, that. You know, and I think the Minister of Finance should re-examine in position what he's doing with the air traffic controller.
But hold on. You know, hear them say, when them write the relevant minister, them don't even reply to them.
Don't even reply to them.
Then what you expecting Minister of Finance to be respectful of them for?
You know what amazes me? My children are attending school, and $2.68, $2 can't buy sweetie, that's $3. The most you can get one candy for is $5 upwards for one candy. And it's $2.68 you're giving them increase. It's an insult.
So for a 40-hour week, that's about less than $120.
Thank you, sir. You know, it's an insult to these important people. You know, and they said what they are doing now is going to affect right across the whole region if they should start a strike.
But more importantly than that,
yes, sir.
They said that their equipment is 15 years behind, out of date.
Out of date?
15 years.
They've been trying to get assistance from when, and they've been ignored.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing.
No, we have a whole lot of callers back up.
Let me just make this look up.
No, but I'm telling you, I am telling you that we have a whole lot of callers back up. And like the air traffic control, you are telling me, no, I want to circle the airport few more time and make them explain them.
All right, cool. Call me back.
Call me back, man. I best thing that, man. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up, hello. Welcome. Next one, please. Next one, please.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes, brother Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Tell me something. If I want to start some company or make something to put in package to give it to the people into the country, do we have to have a legal document to do so?
If you want to start something, that what?
Like in a business thing, we have things and package things and sell it to the public. Do I have to have a legal document?
Oh, package goods?
Yeah.
If you have to have a legal document?
Yeah. Have a license then or anything, I have to have something to prove.
I'm not sure. I believe it depends on what goods. If you're going to wrap out some 2-pound bag of sugar, I don't think you have to have a license with that. What kind of things I mean?
Anything what to give to the public.
No, but if you're going to wrap out 2-pound bag of sugar, I don't think you have to have no license with that.
No, but the shopman already have a license.
Oh, the shopman, yeah, to buy the 212-pound bag or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have some documents.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that documents don't necessarily say when you wrap out a 2-pound, you need a 2-pound license. So I just said to start a business in the country, you have to have a license.
Alright, what kind of thing you want? What specifically you want to find out about?
And I want to find out if I'm starting a political party, if I don't have to have a license. So I'm just calling it license. I don't have to have a document to do so.
A documents?
Yes, I have to have some rights.
Yes.
By who control the land to do so.
And where that document come from?
I use the word as a government. The government, whichever government control that.
Yes. And you are saying that for somebody to start another party, they have to go to one of the first parties?
Yeah, they have to go through them because them control.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, you know. Wherever them getting a license from other rights, they have to go through them.
Yes. So you are telling the public that nothing else can start unless the PNP and the JLP approve it?
Whether the JLP or the PNP, you go overseas to the Pope, they have to approve it, otherwise you cannot start it, they will shut you down. That's what I'm saying, you know. You have to get some approval to start anything to go and give to the people. You hear what I'm saying, sir?
Yes, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not going to participate in an idiot argument.
No, but I want to know if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong on the radio, my people here, because you're making the public make us sound like a fool. I want to know if I'm wrong, if I cannot start.
Anyway, repeat your name, because I think your object is to get very popular and well known by the name.
No, man, I don't like when you take them turn there, you know. I want to know if what I'm talking is wrong. It's that I want you to say I got people who know Jerry out there. Tell me if I sound like an idiot.
No, I think repeat the name, because I think that's what you're really campaigning for.
Yeah, you see it. I think the people in that cut against, I think they're right in a jerk. You don't really deal with justice.
Yes. Repeat the name again.
It's alright, the next time I call you, man. I don't think I deal with no justice, brother Jerry.
Repeat the name again. Next call. Him want to be known as right and wrong, and him want to be well known, and him don't care what it take. I don't think him care what it take to get well known. Next call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Next one, please. All right. I have a text message here. Go and read the next text message. Good morning. All know this is the man who was absent from him house, and when him come back, some of him money was missing, and him say some family member take it, and him go to the police and make complaint about it, and police say him have to have some receipts, and they draw money out of bank. Otherwise, nobody going to recognize him did have money in the house. I was asking him from the other day whose house it is, if it is him family member house or if it is his house. All now you don't tell me. I'm going to read the text message still. But if you don't call me or text me and tell me whose house, who the house belongs to, whether it's you or if it's your family member, I'm not going to follow up this thing because you're not telling me whose house it is. Make I read it. Good morning. All know the police tell me that I have to have papers that I make a withdrawal for the money that was taken from my house. Him say I can't make a claim by that. What? Him say I can't make a claim by saving at home. Is this law? I need help. Well, I'm telling you again. Send and tell me whose house it is, whose home. The house where you're missing the money from is whose house? Your house or your family member's house? They are catching with you, or you are catching with them, or the two of them own the house together. Clarify that, because we don't want to waste time, and we don't want to talk no foolishness. Next one, please. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, morning, Mr. Small. Just a quick minute here. I've listened to your program for a while now.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people call with what you classify as rubbish, or we, the listeners, classify as rubbish, I think I can't tell you how to run your program, but I think you can just clarify by just stating the correct measures or the correct principles or procedures. For example, this gentleman about the political party.
Which one are the one?
We keep calling about the formation of the political party, about getting permission from the ruling party.
Yes.
Yeah, just take the right here and clarify it and stop calling the same nonsense over and over and over.
All right, yes, all right.
Listeners, it's waste my time, waste everybody's time.
All right, tell me something. What impression, from what he said, you see, what impression you get about what him saying?
To be honest with you, I personally, I think he believes in what he's saying. You know?
I know him believe in what him saying, but I'm asking you what impression you get, apart from him believe himself. What other impression you get?
I don't get anything more from him. I mean, you said that he's seeking some.
No, I don't want you to focus on what I say.
No, what I'm saying, me personally, I don't spend any time to form an impression about him.
Yeah.
It's just that I strongly believe that he is convinced by what he's saying.
All right, you think that what him saying is sensible?
Common sense, it don't make any sense. But
all right.
The other person,
yes, you think I should allow him to tell people this kind of thing and convey that idea to people, say you can't form a party without going to the PNP? You think I should allow him to continue to talk that?
No, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense if you just, because they could cut him off from the first call. Yeah. I just state in the past and then just don't call about a food again. And
all right, let me tell you something. All right, let me tell you something that you might not know. You know that him have a nom de plume, a name that him want to be known by?
Yeah, man.
What is the name that him want to be known by?
Right or wrong or left or right.
Right and wrong. Right and wrong. And he wants to be known by that name. Otherwise he wouldn't tell you. And him tell us over and over, right?
Yeah. But I don't want to cut it, but let me stick things. One of the problem with talk shows is that sometimes people keep coming on by the way. So some people might not be familiar with it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying sometimes when him or other persons call it some stuff, you as the moderator, it can be easy to cut it off by just stating the facts and done, because sometimes someone might be just listening for the first time.
Yeah.
They're not getting exactly what is going on between you and him and other caller.
Yes, yes.
So when them coming and rubbishing, instead of somebody else running with it and then feeling, oh, we really have forgot you the tool, just say, listen, brethren, this is a space. And done to him, tell him we're going to find the next rubbish for tomorrow.
Yes, yes.
Because the back player, because you know I call every day gimmicks fool around. The program is nice, entertaining and whatever. But sometimes some certain stuff like this are really important to a country development or individual development. Put it up earlier on and done, then back come back with nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I was in, maybe I should do it a little faster, yes.
Thank you for the time, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Yes, man. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Yeah, morning again, Jerry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I call you back, just to share a little experience with you,
Yeah.
And the general public. Me went downtown Montego Bay,
Yeah.
And me heading towards the bank here, Sam Sharp Square.
Yeah.
And a madman sitting down on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Stretching out his foot in the walkway,
Yeah.
And you see, right beside him is a $1 Jamaican.
Yes.
And I know so much the $1 Jamaican sitting down there,
Yeah.
Guy right next to him,
Yeah.
And I stop and pick up the $1 Jamaican because me on my way to the bank.
Yeah.
I know say if I have $1 million $1 Jamaican, me have $1 million.
Yes, yes.
All right. There's a particular madman up Barnett Street right in front of Computer Depot. Him always take from $10 to $100. He never beg you $1 yet, And the point I mean, for the air traffic controller, is getting an additional $2.68. It's totally an insult. Now we'll move on from there. Damian Crawford, St. Terence Williams, looking publicity saying want his organization to disband. Now, I am asking, who love Limelight more than Damian Crawford? You see Damian Crawford on every platform. Every party showing up, all on the TV. So I'm asking, who loves Limelight more than Damian Crawford? So you must come and stop your foolish about you want the Terence Williams organization disband. I just got me put across the brother, here.
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Next one, please. Good morning.
Indeed, Brother Jerry. I was reasoning with some Jamaicans who reside overseas but visiting recently, Jerry, and they are disappointed in something. And I'm wondering if perhaps you might have to revisit your baking abilities. Them so them cannot get a proper piece of potato pudding or corn pone to buy.
You mean when them in Jamaica?
Yeah, when them buy this thing, Jerry, this thing tastes like the person who make it either add too much sugar and too much flour and not enough of the real thing.
Yeah.
The quality of the baked pudding and blue jars and everything, it is just not what they used to from back in the day.
Yeah, I want to tell you. What the thing that got me interested in baking, one of the things that got me interested in baking is, apart from the fact that from my little boy, 6, 7, 8 more lady always make me help her when she bake.
Yes.
Especially when I was a teenager, so from 13, 14 come up. I usually specialize in anywhere I go about the place, in a town, whether it's in a town, downtown, or whether it's in some district like Waltham Park or any other place. Anyway, I say any baked things, especially pudding, I always sample them, and after a while I get to know where several places is where I can get some good homemade baking for buy. And throughout my teenage years, going party and coming from party late and them way, I could always make my brethren and sister and them know which part them can go, especially later hours, and get something very reliable, And then now when I got the opportunity for my wife, which was my little young girlfriend at the time, teach me how to bake, more than how my whole lady did teach me. It did have in mind how I want the things to taste.
Yes. I know your time might be a bit limited in terms of what you have to do on a daily basis, but you might have to organize something again to monitor it,
Oh.
Because I myself have been having the same disappointment.
Well, what you can do, I think that I've thought of several times.
Yes.
And it's not anything new. Is that whenever we go anywhere and book up any good service.
Yes.
Or any good product.
Yes.
Whether it is a public service or it's a private service or a public product or a private product, we can recommend it. So you can recommend and say, boy, I know a good tire man. Up to yesterday.
Yeah.
Up to yesterday, I book up on, I look some tire, I book up on some people who deal good tire, good second-hand tire, new tire. We deal with tire good and some man, we deal with tire good and some deal with it bad. And some new, and so on. And whether it's food, or whether you go to a restaurant, or whether you go to Bournemouth bath, or you go to mineral bath, and the people them deal with it, or whether you go to the hospital, and the people them deal with it, and you recommend them, we drop these words, like for instance, yesterday, boy, I forget a good word for one place. What the virgin name, man? I'm virgin, I always deal with my tire when I go buy a tire, but about 2 years, I never buy a new tire. Forget who him name not. Him work off place, they down Maxfield Avenue, where sell tire. I think them name, what the place name DB Greg, BD Greg. Are the youth man name, him name a slip, man. But the way them deal with me feel good. So I can't mention it here. I look in front of them, where carpet guy. Sorry about that. I soon come reason my bird. We have another call here. I have my bird and Kwesi in the studio. We want to reason about a little thing where we should develop. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up, hello. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Are you there? Next one. Good morning, welcome.
Morning, Mr. Small.
Hey, good morning. This is Moy. The other day I make mistake and call one next lady Moy, you know.
Hey, yes, Mr. Small.
Yeah, how are you doing?
How are you on the Independence Day?
Well, I examine, well, even one caller called me and asked me what I would really like to see go on and what I working for them. And when I start telling him starting, I was going to start talk before I reach forward, him start interrupt me and when I clarify it. But him gone, but I don't want to reason him. Him can't call back.
Yes, may I encourage him to call back?
You heard him? You remember him? He must saying to me, what is it that me and my virgin have worked for over the years, and what is it we
Yes, they're saying, want to know what you have in mind or the plans.
Yeah. And I'm not hostile to him, you know. Not because we answer back vigorously or them kind of way there. We're not hostile, because I think this is how people can come to terms or come to terms either in agreement, because you have terms of agreement, you know. I have terms of disagreement. I even me and my brother in Kwesi have a reason about that little more. There are terms of disagreement where you know where you stand.
But the more you don't you're not being accommodating to suit him, is the more he will think, you know.
The more he will think.
Yes, the more he will think and maybe arrive at something better.
Yes.
Yes. It's class. It's a we're at the university, you know, so we can get things easy.
Well, I am also learning. I'm not going on like not going on like I am the teacher of all.
Yes, it's true.
If I go answer, I don't mean for go answer. Sorry, ma'am.
Many times scholars would say that they don't know how to start leading themselves or don't know how to go about
taking control of them own self.
Taking control of themselves.
Yes.
And you know, I just like to put in some of my lessons sometimes.
Yes, ma'am.
For example, let's say I'm going to prepare a meal and I don't have maybe a pepper.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask my neighbor for one, you know. No, because I must have something else that I'm going to put in the pot.
Yeah.
Maybe a piece of ginger. Or I make sure I put myself in a position that I don't have to ask take any pepper.
Yeah.
And even though I might think that he or she go market, that would teach me to be more self-sufficient instead of depending on somebody else. Pepper.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing. My daughter, she got homework and supposed to study for her exam, and she didn't have the book.
Yeah.
And our classmate wouldn't share with her.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the money at the time to purchase the book, so we went to the library, and the topic that she was doing, we didn't find that particular book at the library, but we found a book with the same topic.
Yeah.
And that is how we get resourceful and try and find other subjects and get the information. And she passed the exam.
Yes.
So their teacher, she must have no excuse. And with the tech now, it's teaching you to, if you don't have it,
yeah,
I'll learn from you.
Yeah.
So that is one way. I don't know if they, you know, they can. I go as low as the basic example that I could give.
Yes.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, here, ma'am.
Yeah, you are good.
Long time I don't hear from you, so it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next call. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Hello, morning, Mr. Smart.
What go on, sir?
Yeah, much respect to all your listeners in Independence Day.
Yeah.
Two quick things, Mr. Smart. I see that the Gleaner Company and RJ are going to merge.
What? The Gleaner Company and RJ are going...
Merge.
They're going to merge, yes.
Yeah, 6 months' time, they're going to marry.
Oh,
that will be a beautiful marriage, you know, Mr. Smart.
Oh, them get engaged, okay.
Yeah, the Lester Spalding said they are trying to achieve greater efficiency.
Okay.
Because if they stay apart, they're going to disintegrate. The both business might go to operation.
Oh.
So that just goes to show the Jamaican is two of the oldest entities in Jamaica, you know.
Yes, that's
the Gleaner Company is 185.
You mean in media?
In media.
Yeah.
The Gleaner Company is 185.
Yeah.
RJR is 65.
Yes.
But RJR seems to be having the lion's share in the Gleaner in terms of power because Lester Spalding going to be the chairman.
Yeah, RJR have more input, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying now, the Jamaican people need to take note of these two entities.
Yeah.
Trying to achieve greater efficiency.
Yeah.
And need to rebrand their community to achieve greater efficiency.
Yeah.
Because globalization is taking root.
Yes.
And at the same time, Mr. Small, the lion chief shareholder in the Gleaner, who is Oliver Clark, he's now going into banking through the Jamaica National.
In that, wow, I'm glad you know.
Yes.
Him gone into banking a long time, but him wanted to be a full bank now.
A full bank?
Only go on building society.
Yes, because there is no new money printed in Mr. Smart. So you have to be a better poker player now.
Yeah.
It's a chess game they're playing with us, you know.
Yeah.
A good game of Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly, yeah.
Yeah, the Jamaican people need to rebrand their communities. Like the Gleaner Company is next door to Fletcher's land.
Yeah.
And look at Fletcher's land.
Well, I don't know. One time a Fletcher, me used to live down the road from one man named Fletcher. When we take a stock of him to run Gleaner Company, I wonder if a film family Fletcher's land name after.
Yeah, so the whole thing needs to be rebranded for us to get greater efficiency.
Yeah.
And I noticed Barack Obama in Kenya the other day addressing his family.
Yeah.
He told them to move away from certain tradition.
Yeah.
Telling the Kenyan people that certain tradition don't fit for the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we too need to take stock and move away from certain foolishness.
Yeah, I like when him tell them, I like when him make them know so them to educate them woman, them are not afraid to educate them one.
Yeah, exactly, but more males has educated their women.
I don't like when him recommend, say, them say a man fi have a husband to educate it, and if he educate him on husband.
No, they throw that back.
The Kenyan people throw that. Just left that back in America.
Yes, they say they never want that down there.
Make him carry that back in the White House.
Yeah, but Mr. Small, I appreciate you on the radio on a day like this.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're gradually moving away from tradition.
Yeah, but it's a privilege for me to still.
Yeah, much respect.
And it's a duty. Thank you very much. Yes, sir?
Yeah, give that.
We're going to go for a break. We're only going to take 2 more calls because I want to reason with my brother, Kwesi, about something that would interest you and would help you. Welcome back to Straight Up. Yeah, man. That listener, any listener, that did call and asking me, you know, not because they was asking me what was my aims and me and my version of what to work in. Not because, not no egotistical thing. I'm glad for people ask me that. Anything at all. That listener was asking me and all them kind of way. And I start to give him answer what we were looking forward to or what we're still working towards. But as I start talking, him interrupt before I reach forward, and I said to him, say, what, if I'm not going to allow me on them way. But when you hear me at them ways, no hard feelings, you know. So call and we go discuss it, because we can't be that touchy. And if I react away and if me raise up my voice away, that is not any indication of no anger, no this, that, or the other. And so it is. So call back if you will and if you want and so on. Yes, it's very good for us to discuss these things. I mean that touchy. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, hello. Morning, good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Are you there? Next one, please. Hello?
Hello?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I hope you heard me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. It's two things I want to talk about. It's actually three.
Yes,
but the first one is you were speaking on a topic yesterday, and I'm sorry that you didn't get to finish the thought.
Yeah?
And it has to do with the employment conditions of the persons who work in the hotel industry.
Yes.
I didn't know that's what actually transpired, but I have a relative who applied for a job, and he was told that he would have to work for a month, train for a month.
Yeah.
He wouldn't receive any salary.
Yeah.
And at the end of the month, he was not guaranteed a job.
Yes. In a hotel. In a hotel.
In one of the big hotels. I'm not going to call the name, but it's one of the Spanish chains.
Yes. And this is a full day training. It's not a 3 or 4 hours.
All day.
All day.
But his condition is he's already trained. He has worked that position before.
Yes.
So the first day he went on, he went to work. He was actually working because he was able to do everything. He doesn't need any training.
So he is producing service.
And not being paid. And the reason why he needs that job is because he wants money.
Yes.
So how is it they expect the person to go to work every day, go to training per se every day, and no compensation in return? The bottom line is he was my nephew.
Yeah.
And he asked me my opinion. And I said to him that he needs to go to them and tell them that he's already qualified, he knows how to do the work.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to tell him something positive about him getting the job, he was to just not go back.
Yeah.
And when he went, they weren't able to give him any good, positive feedback.
Yeah.
So he didn't go back. But I'm saying all this to say, I listen to you all the time, but I don't really get to call you.
Yeah, man. Is it the first time you're calling?
No, it's my second time. Long time.
Yeah, man.
Because I listen, but because I work.
Yes, man.
So the point I want to get across is, you made some mention about the house slaves and the field slaves.
Yeah.
And I said that same thing to him. The politicians, they're like the house slaves. So they just want to keep us, the masses, in the field as field slaves, not wanting to earn or become better, because the majority of the persons who work in the hotel industry, they're not paid well.
No.
And they're the ones that are producing, and they're the ones that are serving the guests and bringing in the revenue.
Yes, and traditionally, people used to look upon people in the community, whether in the country or in the country town where the hotels are. People used to look upon hotel workers and say, boy, them all right, and them are working in a hotel, and get a nice little pay and all that kind of way. But these things have gradually turned around. But are you aware that if you are aware of so much of these things, can you imagine that the Ministry of Labour and the government is well aware of these tricks also?
That's what pisses me off more. Because you're saying that you're for the people, you want to end poverty, you want to build them up, and you know that the majority of the people who are working, that is the condition they're under, giving away their labor for 1 month.
Yes, and do you know that...
I was shocked. I could not believe that something like that was happening in Jamaica. And I turned to my neighbor and I said to him, this is the problem with you young people. The things when you're supposed to advertise and put on social media, don't do it. And the moment you see people, they have sex for even one dog or donkey, they post it.
Yes. Now, just one last thing before you go. It happens all, it's not just Jamaica alone. It's not just our politicians and some of the public officials them worthless this way. It happens all around the world that they play people against people. And a lot of these officials, whether elected or permanent workers, they help to protect and guide these foreign investors to get the best deal. And also, what they do, why they are able to get these people to work for a month, so them training, they are not getting a pay. It is a systematic thing around the world that unemployment must be in the country so that there are a lot of other people dying to get into the hotel, into the job, and therefore they will be willing to work for a whole month without no pay. It is by having a lot of people unemployed that you have this pool of people that you can always exploit and dangle like a girl. You have a go-go club, and you're a nice little young girl, 14, 15, 16, or even 18, and you carry her there, you tell her you have to dance for a month before you start get paid, and she will be there and will want to get into the go-go club and want to meet some of the big man with the nice car over there. So she go and dance for a month without any money, and the next thing you can say to her, say, well, a 1 and 2 man want to sleep with you. We're not paying you, but if you want to sleep with a 1 and 2 man, 1 and 2 night and get a little pocket, you can go and do that. We have a room. But we have to get $100 from you for the room and so on. And gradually them enslave you and enslave. And human trafficking starting with a promise of a job and ending with, you know where it ends, ma'am?
Yes, and the final thing,
yeah.
It's not really, but the last one. You know, when it's that the PNP are going, the present government are going to try to sneak in the you know who through the back door.
No, they sneak in privilege for the LGBT community. Not equality, no, privilege, more than equality. So much so that they can demand that your church must marry them, and they can demand that any children in the children's homes must be available to them to adoption. Privileges, those are privileges. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but as you know that they said that it's just the articulate minority that is on the social media, and the articulate minority don't really count,
yes,
and they don't really vote.
Yes, so they don't.
So
yeah.
you know that there was a gay pride march. Was it an emancipation?
No, not march. Private march, not public.
Yes, yes, it was a private march.
Gay pride.
The mayor.
Yes.
The mayor,
yes.
Angela Brownberg,
yes.
and the Minister of Justice,
yeah.
What's his name again? They both tweeted and said that more power to them.
Yes, yes.
So basically, you know that they did it that way because the persons in the wider community, they do not go online and read what is happening.
Yeah.
So if they, probably they wouldn't know. And my last thing to you know, Jerry.
No, I want to comment on that. What they are doing, you see, they are performing a service for Portia Simpson Miller. She may not go out there and get away with that. So Angela Brownberg is going out there and doing a service for her as our lady in waiting. You know, the queen have some lady in waiting or some other society woman will wrong her will do her little work for her. Yes. So Angela Brownberg is performing that great function for her, and she's going to get a lot of promotion for that because she's saving Portia from taking that political risk. And then little more Angela Brownberg is moving up in the hierarchy that she is probably one of the most likely to succeed Portia Simpson Miller when she ready to go one side. And Angela Brownberg and her husband is the most powerful pair of people in the government and in the party. And they know by linking up with by being the advocates for those people, they will get the same boost like what Obama get. And then Paul Burke is not a man really going to push forward himself as Prime Minister. He's more a power behind the throne or beside the throne. And so on and so forth and so on and so forth and so forth. Next thing, ma'am.
Jerry, well, I'm a little bit upset with you because you have a vast knowledge, and I just think that you need to have it written out there so that
I need to what? I need to have it what?
Written down, because when you die, it's going to die with you, and it would be a shame for it not to be out there. So you share what you have and leave it behind.
Yes, I do some writing, you know.
You hear it all the time, I say if you publish or whatever, but a full time now it happen.
Yes, yes. So what happened with the hurdles, then we have to learn how to run hurdles. We can't just a race flat race. So. Neither long distance nor flat race is good enough. We have to run hurdles or steeplechase. Thank you very much for the encouragement, dear coach.
Right.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next one more we'll take before we come to Kwesi, you know. Is one there. Good morning. Morning, welcome. Straight up, hello.
Good morning, Mr. Gary.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. You know what happened, sir?
What happened?
I see you determine other people's mind, but you can't determine your one mind, so you don't have a sense of direction. A good day, sir.
Thank you very much, doctor. Don't go up. Doctor, hello? The doctor gone? I thought it was a doctor, but it sounded like it's a quacker. I was thanking him so much for that diagnosis, and was was going to ask him a few questions because I don't reject these examination and them tests, you know. But him gone. It sounds like it's a quacker though. Yes, Kwesi, what was? Mike, on for Mike good. The Mike good? Yeah, man, very interesting. The call there about the hotel workers and things.
Yeah, man, I know my mother and my favorite aunt both worked in the hotel business, you know.
Yeah.
Montego Bay and outside, you know, near to Hanover.
Yeah.
And it's not easy for the employees because for decades now, for the whole time that I know them, the hotel work has been seasonal.
Yes.
I mean, like 6 months of the year if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you get called back again, and during the time you're off, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And it has been like this all the time. I think even now they're calling for a second season for tourism.
Mm.
And if you ever see the condition that the tourism workers have been living in Montego Bay, off the main, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just the condition.
Yeah, man, because all flankers and men of them. Yes. Matter of fact, every one of the depressed communities.
At first it started at Barnish Lane.
Yeah.
And Railway Lane, and all of those areas. That's where they're coming from.
Yes, yes.
My uncle and my aunts and all of that, they try for jobs in the hotel industry, you know, waiters and so on, you know. So it is a terrible situation, and even there they are just here they're talking about pensions for hotel workers.
Yeah.
So of course they go into lives of old age poverty.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Now, as the population of Jamaica, as the citizen, as the worker, is expecting that when the government help to attract these new investors and new hotels, and always proud of how many thousand rooms are on track to be built by which year, they expect that the government also will be looking out for them best interests. Not true?
Well, I think they normally would have expected that, but I think our actual history and experience has led most people who have been observant not to really expect that. Really, actually, I mean, we have zero development despite the infrastructure and despite all the investment that is coming in. The country has had recorded zero economic development over 50 years.
And so it is, you would expect that your work representative, different from your government that you're looking out to protect your rights, your work representative that you organize, the workers organize unions, you would expect that your union representative would be representing you. Alright, we're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that point. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. As I was saying to my guest, Kwesi, who is a frequent participant here, that just as you would expect the government of your country to be, yes, attracting investors and guaranteeing them protection. You know, if somebody coming to their country and doing business, they want to guarantee them protection and make them comfortable. You also want to guarantee your workers also. And you're expecting, not to work, you're guaranteeing your citizens. So you're going to expect the government to be looking out for your rights and not allowing people to exploit you. So it is also now your personal, the workers' personal representative, which is the trade union, them and the trade union, them delegate them, and the trade union leaders. You would expect that they would be looking out for your best interests within reasonable bounds, not true?
Of course, I mean, if you have any other interest that impinge upon their function, then you have some conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So I mean, the leaders who represent and who are paid to represent by deductions taken from the workers, they should really represent the workers' interests.
So you know, so it has been very interesting over the past few months and over the past year and 2 years to notice the gymnastics of some of the workers represented, especially the more prominent ones, whether in the teaching profession, the JTA, or whether in the various prominent one, you know, where you see that they seem more to be in line with the government and with the political parties than with their constituents, which is the teachers or the firemen or the various workers.
You know, sometimes I wonder, you know, Jerry, if this is really coming in some cases from a mistaken idea of patriotism, you know?
Yeah. What is best for the country?
Right, and it is something that is different from what is best for those who they represent.
Yeah.
And therefore they are making a sacrifice, and they are making those who they represent sacrifice through their own decision to this idea of patriotism at best.
Yeah.
At worst, of course, it could be the total buyout, and we know that is possible here.
Yeah.
So, but nevertheless, you know, it is then still a conflict of interest unless they are defining that those who they represent the workers' interests and the national interest is not one and the same, or don't run in the same line. And that would be a very serious thing, and that has to be decided. Because in fact, our experience is that what has been considered national interest to get all this investment, you know, and this tourism going, has not been shown to be in the interest of most of the people in Jamaica. In an absolute way, for what they have been giving up, what they have been losing. I mean, we have the Chinese coming in lately, but even before them there were other people mapping up whatever resorts and whatever wealth in terms of land that was there. You know, and the beaches have been a big example because they were all free ones, except for Doctor's Cave, as far as I can remember in my lifetime. And Doctor's Cave, they had their rights on the beach, not in the water. So the whole point about it, people have lost both the natural resorts, and they have lost their positions where they used to live. They have been transferred to allow mining. And you know, all kind of these sacrifices of the people's interest for the national interest. So you wonder why is this so?
Yeah, recently, I say, one of the media companies, I don't remember if it was CVM, went onto a certain industrial scene. I think it's a white collar. Was it a insurance company or where it was that a media company went to find out some dissatisfaction among the workers, and a lady was willing to be interviewed. What
no. I probably remember I was telling you that there was a demonstration by Arden.
Oh yes, a demonstration at Arden High School. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And
who were demonstrating?
Teachers.
Yes.
It's concerning their negotiations.
So they're demonstrating. They want the public to know.
Right, and apparently the media was either notified by them or by someone else, and they came in, and the person who was telling me actually said she was willing to be interviewed, you know, on the media in order to state their grouses, you know, with the process of negotiation, you know. And she was saying to me that they know they can't get anything much in a Jerry. So they don't know, they're in a quandary, because again the whole thing of, you know, the patriotism, you know, taking what is good for the country by giving up all that you have been promised. You know, they're into this position. It's very funny, the conflicting conscience position that they've been put into every time, public sector workers, that they have to put their interests against national interests.
Then why them can't leverage their sacrifice that they are making and extract some sacrifices, especially by the people in comfortable position?
Jerry, you see,
but these things are symbolic, but they help a lot. If these people in comfortable position, ministers and prime ministers and advisors and a lot of other comfortable people, were to give up certain things which is fat, is not basic pay or not basic comfort, you know, some extra things that them getting. These things are things that encourage the population a lot, and it would result in would yield some result in some real cooperation. You don't think so?
Well, I definitely think that leadership by example is the best type of leadership, you know. And if you're asking people to sacrifice in a greater good.
Then why the Kenya president the other day? Don't the Kenya president and cabinet cut them pay by half or something like that?
No, I don't remember if it was Kenya.
Yeah, man, it's more one African country, including
right,
Kenya.
exactly.
And another one, another president who just come in, another president who just came into authority, did some pay cut also.
And even around in Latin America, that has been happening, you know, because that's how you lead by example. You're telling that you're willing to share in the pain, you know. And by willing to share in the pain, people will try to emulate you.
Even the Prime Minister of England that I did, on the first thing him do, him freeze the
further increases
for next 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you see, but Jerry, apart from that, don't know, these people are not. I mean, they are saying that to cut their pay and benefits will be pipsqueak.
It's not going to save much.
It's not going to save much.
But the example is very.
Yeah, but it is showing how much and what they know of leadership, you know, who they are leading, and who they are really representing. Probably we may think that they are representing, say, the workers, but probably they are not, and they are pleasing those who they are representing. I mean, when you are mentioning this question of the gay, you know, are they representing the American people?
Yeah, the gay interest.
By these approvals that they are tending to make, and these promises that they are giving. You have to say, who are they representing? Are we being misrepresented?
Matter of fact, they are tiptoeing around the Jamaican people.
And Hillary Clinton, you know, Jerry, has encouraged states to say that many times the law leads before the popular opinion. And of course, this is totally undemocratic.
Imagine.
But she has been saying that it has been possible, it has been done, and it is sometimes a more efficient way.
And it's unconstitutional, but them not care.
That is secondary, Jerry. The law, even the Constitution, is not.
No. Is it not curious to see that in recent years we see so many trade union leaders, workers' representatives, acting more in unity with the private sector and with the government than with the people them represent. Also, so many people who started their career and had 20, 30, 40-year careers as social reformers, social democrats, socialists and Marxists, who is fueling the world system and now against all collective interests and collective security. You understand? The individual people in Jamaica that me and you know personally, male and female.
For those that I have been able to observe, I see that they are secure in their own interests, Jerry. Okay, because what I think they are recognizing now is that, are accepted, is that the way things are, the status quo is not changing, and they are placing their bets with those who already secured certain positions, and that is what they are taking. As a result, now it is all about forming partnerships for progress, you know, in which the majority of people are not progressing.
So the PNP, like the PNP, for instance, the Labour Party is supposed to be a Labour Party for the workers. There is no Labour Party. The PNP is supposed to be a nationalist and a socialist party, and a lot of other non-PNP people, but the most fellow travelers, Marxists, WPJ people, all kind of different reformers and human rights people, joining in and telling the people of Jamaica, say, no man, no freedom and no equality, and there again, you have to just go along. Now, pure that one.
Well, essentially, they have been redefining freedom, you know, and what they are essentially saying is that look about your own self, be free individually. Try to strive, try to get some money in the stock market and make your money work for you. When you're like that, you have made it. And that's all you must concern yourself about. So I agree with you that there's a disappearance of this broader collective spirit where people looking out for their neighbors and looking out for the other people, which we have seen over the decades, you know. And which kind of
you notice the infighting in a both party, but probably even more remarkably in the PNP, the infighting of candidates and want to be candidates, especially over the shore seat them. You understand? The seats that are shore. You notice it is a raw, naked self-interest for the individual and for the party.
Well, in that sense, no, Jerry, you see, the PNP and the JP party, those represent probably the last horizon that people can change their fortunes from being people who don't have anything to people who have something.
So that is a way. That's a way.
There's hardly another way outside which is not more criminal.
Yeah.
Which is not more criminal.
With an economy and a development that is not growing, the surest way to transform your life is through education and then party. Education and into the party.
Yes, I mean education is secondary to getting in the party. Education is a way to get into the party almost.
Yeah.
I mean, we are seeing
but when you are in the party, if you educate yourself more, you elevate even more.
Yes, I mean lately, because of the educated people coming into the party, there's this internal competition, you know. But that doesn't secure anything, Jerry, because it depends more on your outlook. Because if you are not willing to do as you see others doing, you will not survive, you know. So there is this conformity which is required within the party, demanded by the party, you know, because the party is a means to enrichment.
Yeah, look the other day, Raymond Price and certain other young people in the party start to talk out and express themselves. Whether them express themselves about the Joan Gordon acceptance, or whether them expressing themselves about whether young people are being used conveniently. And by the time him talk out and the party threaten him, the bigger people partner threaten him, within 2 days, is a completely opposite statement him making and tailoring him previous statement. So this is where they would have language come from, would have this and would have that.
Yeah, when you get threatened with exclusion, you know, from that possibility of transforming your fortunes, Jerry.
Or completing the transformation, because you're along the way of being transformed. And if you get cut off at this point, it might be embarrassing.
Right. But the leadership, though, of the workers in the public sector at the moment here is really seem to be very seriously affecting the future fortunes and the present ones too of the people they represent. And I think that
the people are supposed to believe in them.
Yes, because right now there's announcements which they are making concerning acceptance of this 4,000 per month.
Yeah, because all the lady her name is she not announced it. What's her name? I mean, Miss.
I think I heard the news say Helen Davis.
Helen Davis, right? She not announced. But all the while you hear these announcements, whether it's from the teachers president or from she, you hear them saying, we recommend that it be accepted and we are going to go to our people and convince them. Them always make the agreement in public before the worker them agree, trying to back up the worker them in a corner say, you might as well agree.
Now I don't know if...
Hold on, let's go for a break and come back. Remember where we were, straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I have my guest here, Brother Kwesi, and who is a frequent contributor to the program and, you know, expand some ideas. I hope you remember where exactly you were.
Yes, man. I was just mentioning that we were discussing the fact that certain kind of compromising signals are coming from the leadership of the public sector workers, certain divisions of them anyway. It seems that they are ready to accept what is being offered in terms of a salary increase. And I think that, as I said, that this may be due to misled patriotism or something worse, you know. However, I don't think that they can secure the good for Jamaican people by denying these large tens of thousands of workers some prosperity after it was promised to them. And they are holding the government very, very loosely to their lack of integrity in that MOU entered into.
Agreement.
Right, a memorandum of understanding. Agreed to in good faith several years ago, 5 years ago. Was never, and that was fulfilled on the side of the public sector workers. That led to them making great sacrifices at the time. That was already due to them at the time and overdue to them at the time, 5 years ago. When it came for the workers to get their thing now after 5 years, they are now being given dribble, you know?
Yeah, more Wall Street.
And this doesn't show any integrity in terms of the agreement that was made, or in terms of the other party that went into the agreement, which was the government. So therefore, to go into this round of negotiation with that kind of background and not holding the government and not trying to get out of this round of agreement some framework to avoid the easy loss of integrity and the false promises to emerge in the future, I think the postures of the leadership that have come in this way that we are talking is very, very weak.
And then now, having the government having these trade union leadership and leadership working for them so efficiently. At the same time, what should be a political risk for them? Them still trying to minimize the political risk. You understand? Because, as them say, workers, you're always talking, you hear all of me at Black River recently, saying, we know, say, him addressing PNP teachers, and no say, we know that teachers is PNP and just behave like PNP and we can rely upon you. And invoking this kind of loyalty. It come to me like even this concession recently of decriminalization of ganja, when they make special overture to the Rastafari movement by allowing, use by Rastafari of ganja as a sacrament and all that kind of thing. It sounds very just and accommodating. But they know that these things, little more they will be claiming that we know that Rastafari are PNP and have always been more PNP. Just like how they would refer to teachers.
I mean, yeah, they'll do this kind of thing, and what happens is that some people who get that kind of thing feel elevated.
Yeah,
inclusion. You understand me? Right.
You take the word out of my mouth, man. Included.
Yeah.
Feel included and accepted.
Yeah, man, and it's all about who's included, Jerry, and who's excluded.
Yeah.
That is critical, those are the critical categories and division.
Yeah.
You understand me? Who are included will benefit.
In
who
favor.
are excluded will not benefit.
Yes, they are in the good book.
You understand me? And that is what our whole political life and that has gone over into the culture.
Yeah.
And that is why I so like what Moy was talking about this morning,
Yeah.
Because she was talking about being self-reliant.
Yes.
And I don't see how you can be independent unless you are self-reliant.
Right? You take a nice word on more, because just coming to that, say, with practices like these becoming more entrenched, more and more people will understand that the independence, the so-called independence and nationhood and statehood is a contrived thing. We mustn't give up, It's a contrived thing, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they are under the guidance of the international establishment.
No, but I mean, it is very clear in history. It's not a secret. I mean, if we go back in history, but let's look at where we are now, Jerry. Today, our whole economic development is underneath a program that is enjoyed by external agencies.
Yeah.
Okay? And we are seeking the approval of other agencies associated with this agency in order for the country to go forward. So as independent people, we have to submit a program to these people who are, we cannot but call them overseers.
Yes.
Is that independence?
No.
Secondly, we are now considering, I mean, when I say we, I'm talking people in Jamaica, not myself.
The taxpayers, yeah.
Citizens, everyone. That they're trying to impose foreign cultural ways on the people of Jamaica without giving the people a chance to see whether what are their ways that they want to be.
Imposing it with threat and showing and reminding all the while that they have the muscle to make you suffer. If you don't go along with that, you are suffering already. That's why they have a way around, You are already suffering. You least of all have no reason for going like you want to stand up like independent, because you are suffering already now. If you know what is good for you, go along with these measures here now and make your society. Matter of fact, I even heard a lawyer, I even saw a lawyer writing in a column, and I noticed this very much, that the professional people, the educated people, even people like yourself and people that say like myself, will get some privilege and some education and some training. People like you and me are expected to come out at parties and social functions attend a little prize giving that you might be invited to talk in your professional circles when you get a chance on radio. You are expected to say no, that it's time for Jamaica approve the LGBT privilege, because it's a modern world. You don't notice how many professionals now when they're talking on the radio, anywhere they are invited, if they go to a school and talk, any little social hall or party is the latest thing. Everybody they have to be voicing now this pro-LGBT agenda to show that I am. You don't notice the question.
Come on, but it is the in thing. Amongst the so-called progressive liberal people.
And these are people who are not gay, but they know that to pay them duty, to pay their political duty or their social duty of moving up in the society, they have to be talking these things. So I saw a recent lawyer, a very prominent lawyer, one of the lawyers at the Tivoli Inquiry, writing in a column say, you don't know, say it's modern time. And if you don't gear yourself to gay tourism, where your hotel them are welcome them and your population is welcoming them, you're going to lose out on these money and little more, you're going to suffer more.
I see that discussion raised recently.
Motherfucker, remember, so how me and you get to meet, I've been seeing it for years, but when I heard you call the program and I just start, I never know says I remember enough time me and you wrap up, because me a defense about the people, them have rights, and me no mind them have them rights, and you always press the point that this thing is a long time campaign and it's a surreptitious thing, and most of them not born so, and you always push that point and me always argue against it, Remember say so?
Definitely. I mean, Jerry,
one time you come like me and you get all hostile upon here. You remember?
Yeah, man, what I understand these things that I talked. But you see what happened is that, I mean, I'll give you a question, I say, Jerry. What these countries that have legitimized things like gay marriage and so on, okay?
Yeah.
They have done so apparently according to the public opinion polls at least, right?
Yeah.
With the majority of the people in these countries agreeing that they're right. Okay?
Apparently,
right? I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that. No?
Yeah,
you see, if a set of people want to decide upon a certain thing, that is their thing there. I mean, you cannot be outside of their jurisdiction. Can't impose our thing.
No.
But I'm saying that give us here the right to do so too.
Yeah, but
you understand me? What are the public opinion polls saying? Consistently, polls have been saying that that is not something that is accepted culturally.
But even in America the other day, it was not the population of America made that decision,
I know it was the federal government.
The court was used against the people and against the Constitution. It's not the majority of people in America. And I want to show the pressure is being applied even to the Islamic community in America. That they are boasting now, so little by little, more and more percentage of the Islamic community in America is approving this status, and so little more them going to demand of the Muslim mosque that you must allow them to be married in the mosque. And because the Muslim is under fire of suspect terrorists, you understand? The Muslim community in America, they're under the threat, the threat of saying, mind how you behave, because the next thing we know you are ISIS, so the Muslims have to behave in a certain kind of way.
That to be separating themselves.
From ISIS and extreme groups. And therefore, one way of getting approval is to approve of these special gay rights and certain other conservative and even racist attitudes in America, so they become more mainstream.
Right.
So the threat is on the black people also.
Yeah, man, it's a part of white culture to be very conformist, I mean, in ancient Greece and so on, if you wear a beard where you're not supposed to wear a beard, it's a very criminal thing,
It's a threat,
It's a threat,
Yeah, it's an offense.
Even in America right now, you see that people in the middle management don't wear beards, and hardly wear mustache, and only when you get into very senior positions, and professorial and so on, that you wear a beard and mustache.
And where you have passed the test already, and your compliance is beyond doubt, beyond question.
The animal rights, the general rights, and the chairman of the board, they wear beards and so on. So it's very natural to them. I mean, what we are lacking right now, Jerry, is an understanding of white people as a culture.
White culture.
We have understanding.
White power.
We have understood to them to the effect upon us. To some extent, but we don't understand them as a culture, and it's important to do that because the cultures are interweaved here in Jamaica too, and we are getting a conflict that is coming out because people don't understand what is happening on the other culture, especially the black people don't understand other people's culture, and they are making assumptions which are not leading, panning out, you know.
Yeah.
But we have to stick to the truth and say that in Jamaica, you know, the violence against gays have been mainly from other gays,
yes.
you know. And this has been attested to by Major Green.
Yeah. Yes, and Major Green where?
That's the white man who was down here. I don't know if it's Major Green. He was Major Crimes man.
Yes, Green. Deputy Commissioner Green.
Deputy Commissioner
was seconded from England.
Right, from England. He attested to that.
Yes, and other police.
Yeah.
Because I'm a matter of fact, one of the top crack police who even pointed out the amount of gay and gay crime in the latter scamming movement.
Right. And in organized crime in general.
Organized crime was almost punished for it. Them transfer him and give him some little beat patrol job. I saw him patrol.
Oh yeah?
Yes, I saw him patrol in the stadium.
Well, that was a big man. I don't remember his name, but I remember he stood up for his statements.
I saw him keeping order in the stadium at some track meet. You know, that's like a subordinate position.
You see what happened now, Jerry? You see,
and not only that, the deputy Hamish, the deputy
Hamish,
he made a statement similar to that. I'm not sure.
No, it was evident, you know, the whole statistics show that, you know. I mean, but what happened is that because in the music that goes out internationally, there are certain stands that, and the music is used in language that is nominally violent, but in our culture is not implicitly violent, you know. You know what I mean? And they're using that superficial interpretation to back up a certain position here to say that the level of crime here, in fact, homicide against gays is coming from so-called homophobic people. But no, it's coming from people who are gay also. I mean, that is where it's coming from mainly.
Of course.
So this is a slander on the people. I mean, and a slander, and people are not stand up strongly enough to do it because it goes along with the whole of sub-Saharan African position.
And you know that after Obama came here, and he sent the 2 gay emissaries. Remember they came here?
Yeah, man, they came
here. And the USAID people. They specifically came and they've warned the police force before, you know, about harassing gays. And then the police force made some agreement with them and get some commendation from USAID, you know, that they are now compliant with protecting gays. You remember?
I don't know that. I know that they were here. I know they were interacting with several groups, right? I don't really know if the agreement with the police actually.
Yeah, man. They made a special point to say the police are now
compliant
and now protective.
But tell me something, Jerry. In terms of how the police have been behaving with the criminal elements who are said to be gay up in New Kingston, don't you think the police have been really handling them with
kid gloves, man?
With kid gloves?
Of course, with kid gloves.
And these people are people who have been attacking people with weapons,
attacking, robbing,
and vandalizing places.
All kind of different thing, yeah.
So in Jamaica,
and killing one another.
If one looks at it objectively, in Jamaica, these people are really already almost privileged.
Of course they are privileged. A matter of fact, they have a lot of people from privileged society who used to visit them and protect them. Actually, not only their own lobby group, but other people. And even councillors and junior ministers and all them things have to be bending over backward.
And trying to get homes for these people, and look how much homeless people are in Jamaica in general.
A matter of fact, families against state terrorism has stopped representing most of the people who are the families that suffer in state terrorism and taking extra care of that community.
I mean, we saw that with Jamaicans for Justice in recent times, you know. And it's because it is kind of profitable, I guess, to do that, you know. But what I'm saying now is that this is a question of independence, Jerry. And I mean, the people, if the people in the country want something or don't want something, it's not all about independence, Jerry. It's independence about choice, ability to choose.
Yeah.
So that if the country is independent, who is independent in the country?
Exactly.
You know, that's a critical question, Jerry.
Yeah.
It is the people who are included in the power and in the economic elites. Those are the people who are independent, if any.
Now talk about that in assessing if any movement is going forward. Because as me and you know, the struggle and the road towards a people, becoming a people, becoming independent or regaining independence, it is frequently interrupted. So it's not surprising if me and you study history, it's not surprising to us when things remain static or stay one place for a time, or sometimes when things even go backward, because some backward movement is going on here right now in the modern time. Backward movement, backing away from freedom. Every day we are being asked and being told that if we want to we have to be prepared to give up some freedoms. Every day it has been suggested by people who were surprised about. I was so surprised when I used to hear all Tony Abrams back in the early 90s start to say that the Dons, I think that him think that it might as well they recognize the authority of the Dons because they should become part of their official. You remember those times?
Yeah.
When Tony Abrams and a lot of other people who you would be surprised to hear saying that kind of thing start to advocate, and people start to hobnob with these top criminals and even invite them at them yard and at parties and things because them know have a standard of living where them live in the same neighborhood with you, them flying up and down on the same planes with you.
And community.
And it became fashionable. It became fashionable to be closely linked with this than our, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, it was also that the Dons were getting more and more influential in the business.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Now, another thing I want to ask your opinion on. The politicians for their own self-interest, love police and love security forces. Treat them with love. The politician with their mouth say that them love people. How is it that the political culture has not been able, or has not tried to bring about a peace and love between the population and the police? The politicians definitely love police and so on. The politicians say them love population, people. How they have not been able to bridge a peace between the population and the security forces?
Well, I think what you were mentioning concerning the Dons before probably show you that these politicians, if they are close to, have been close to Dons and Donmanship for decades, can be close to the people who the Dons also are oppressing.
Exactly, because what you just said here, most people don't want to recognize that Dons and them and their organization live by oppressing the people who them live amongst.
Yeah, I mean, that is not recognized, and oftentimes you hear on the media, especially by so-called people, eminent persons talking about communities doing this and communities hiding people and so on. When most of the people in the communities are probably scared to hell of these people.
They are hosted, of course they are.
I tell you, you know where I come from, right?
Yeah.
And basically, when the violence rates are on top and you have all this gunfight and things, nothing is happening. Town lockdown earlier evening time.
Yeah.
People quiet.
Yeah.
No, business is suffering in the area. When there is no violence and there is no harassment, the place is lively. People having their parties that they want to have it. Now a lot of people looking more happy walking the streets at night.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, and they could say that communities are hiding people and are with people and so on. That is not so. They are vilifying whole communities.
Yeah.
Whole communities. And we know that in every society, if you have a large enough number of people, the majority of them are good people.
Yeah, the majority, of course. That is my finding.
Yeah, the majority of them are good people, and even more of them want to be good.
Yeah, and I noticed that in Denham town, all right, Steve McGregor. Is Steve McGregor?
Right.
Why is it that the people them down in West Kingston protest so much for weeks and months before when they heard that them going to move him? Why is
them calling back for him?
So why them appreciate them so much down there?
Okay, apparently they had a different way of dealing with matters down there and communicating with the people.
Yeah.
And a more appropriate way.
And obviously
and so that it is not an absolute opposition and antagonism between the people and the police.
There is no natural enmity between the people and the police.
No, man. What has happened, man, is that the police is above the people, just like so many of government institutions are above the people and treat the people as little people. You understand me? And this comes from, not from these people, but comes from the whole manner coming from colonialism.
Yeah.
The whole thing that has been handed over, to people who have been trained to take over and been approved by the people who were colonizing us and enslaving us. And this attitude has not been gotten rid of. You understand me? Parents prefer their children to work in government than to try to do a little business for themselves. Because what? That is more prestige than to turn farmer or something like that.
Yeah.
So the whole colonial thing is still coming down, Jerry. And what has happened is that it has affected us, in the era of politics, it has affected us the most. Because what we think is independence, we see that we are totally dependent upon the IMF, or dependent upon American foreign policy to show us what way we must go. You understand me? We are not independent, you know, and we satisfy with farms. You cannot have independence unless the people are self-reliant. Jamaicans are not self-reliant. You know, they have to seek funding in order to eat their food.
Yeah.
That is not self-reliance.
And even if it is a relative, at least probably 40% of the Jamaican people have to have some links of foreign with people sending in things, either money or food, even 2 times a year. If it's even not when school opening time and one at a time and so on and so on. Now, the same Steve McGregor thing, where people are balls and make this policeman stay so because we're comfortable and it's peaceful when him is there. Or it's more peaceful. And the youth them in the area kill off them one another than when him is there it don't happen so much. And yet, months later after he has been transferred back to Montego Bay, we see signs the other day of community, whether it's Tivoli Garden or Denham Town, expressing the same thing on the ear, talking over mic. You hear some of them talking, say, them tired of the man, them down here, a war amongst one another. And some of them talking it at risk of them own safety, you know, because people hearing them voice. People are willing and come out now and say, well, them tired of the Dan man and the gangster, because them even when them obey the gangster, even when them stay out of the gangster way, their lives is being endangered by the gang war between the gangster, and the gangster don't really care about nobody at all. And they are even indicating that them openly, people indicating openly that they're willing to cooperate with the police. Although them dare not, them indicate that them willing enough, although them still dare not get the information with them know.
Yeah, I think this is a post-2010 phenomenon in a certain sense, in that, you know, with the big incursion and disruption, you know, of the normal activities down there. People were relieved from certain extortion that was happening. Even I mean, as I understand it from people down there, even people in the market, sellers in the market, and even residents in Tivoli have to pay.
Like a cigarette lady.
If you have a relative abroad and you live in it, and them know them you have a relative, and don't know the person working or not, but you have a relative abroad, them thinking that you're getting money and you're tricking them.
Of course, people with relative abroad are taxed.
Yes.
Taxed.
Yes. Everybody taxed, Jerry. Everybody taxed.
Well, alright, West Kingston is a JLP garrison. And it has been some kind of dismantling of it. Not really no, but some kind of dismantling of it has been threatened since 2010. But it's not Mobile like a PNP, like a Mobile and the scamming. Now come like a PNP approximate to what was going on in West Kingston for the last 45, 50 years.
Yeah, I mean, it was spread out almost over Hanover.
Western Jamaica.
Western Jamaica. Yeah.
So you have West Kingston, you have West Kingston is GLP, and Western Jamaica is a PNP garrison. Not true.
Yeah, in terms of the economy. Yeah.
We have a PNP MP who wanted to back out of that thing a couple days ago, saying, almost saying God bless us.
We didn't change your mind.
Yes, as a party, say no, you're going to cast an election. And you won't go your ways. You see,
the election, you know, is the biggest thing.
Biggest thing.
Because the election opens the door.
Money is not about it's not election pocket money.
But at least the 500 million.
Part-time.
Yes, of it.
All right. I'm sorry I interrupt you when you said it. You were saying something. Open something.
No, I'm saying the election, you know, is one of the most important processes in our society. You understand me? Because our society is really, I'm saying, divided between those who are included in the halls of power and amongst the tables of the elite.
Yeah.
Okay? And to get into that, is by means of election into the winning government, and then into the leading rank of the winning government, and you are in.
Yes,
you know what I mean? That you win the lotto. I mean, that is
worse
the lotto.
Worse with the disarray with the JLP.
Right.
Can you imagine?
So basically, Jerry, this is why this is the biggest thing. Now, what the people think is that they have democracy because they can't vote.
Yes.
But that democracy, Jerry, has to be having to be at the table, right? Yes. Decisions are being made, Jerry. Yes. And this is what it is about. That's what pluralism is, you know. Pluralism is not having many parties or individuals voting or representing. It's about being at the decision table.
Yes.
Now we have democracy in Jamaica for some people, especially.
Yes.
In EPOC, Jerry, in the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, what they are practicing there is a limited democracy.
Yeah.
wherein the financial sector in Jamaica, their people representative, have insisted that this be set up in order to ensure that no more JDX, no more NDX, no more NX2 by means of being at the table while decisions are being made, not by being waiting until election time. Now, what the public sector workers can get, because they will have to make sacrifices at this point in time, and their promises have already been trashed, you know, promises made to them. They must insist upon a position where they can prevent this thing happening again. They must insist upon a very big position in epoch or in a democracy that this cannot happen.
So with the performance of them so far, with the workers representative on the epoch so far,
they're going the other way.
Can we rely on them?
I don't think we can, and I don't think the delegates can, and they have to step up and realize that the only consolation prize that is effective is being as savvy as business people and ask for a seat at the table of government decision making.
Yeah, all right.
When the race gets hard to run, it means you just can't take the pace.
The route to World Championship is a journey straight up from national champs. Without confidence, you're defeated before the heats. You can't take the heat, stop the bitching, and get the fridge out of the kitchen. With faith, we win from we begin. Work out weekdays with a straight-up human race team and improve your personal best. Weekends for rest and cross-country. For a drug-free, crime-free, corruption-free environment, straight up, 9 to midday, Mondays to Fridays, indoors and outdoors, days and most nights, rich or poor, young or old. I'm your host, Robin Jerry Small, straight up.
But if it's required, we'll be on the front lane. You can call me by my name. I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. We have Kwesi here with me. We'll be discussing some of the values and qualities of potential independence. And let's have your call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Hello to Kwesi for me, sir.
Yep.
Yes, man. Give thanks.
Kwesi.
Yes,
I think you see, wages, income, inequality, and wealth is one of the biggest hindrances to our people, right? Reaching anywhere.
Income inequality, yes, sir.
Income inequality and wealth inequality is one of the things that's keeping us down, right? The gap between the rich and the poor is too wide, right? Because if you look at it, at 20% of the Americans, right, earn 16.7%, right, more, or 16 times more than the bottom 20%.
Right.
And yet still, right, we are just in front of America, right? So you have got to sort the difference in wages and wealth between the bottom 20% and the top 20%. We've got to get it more equal.
No, definitely I support that view, and I think that view is widely recognized now by the people who are in the job of development. Because what they are seeing is that the countries that do best economically and who satisfy their citizens most are the countries that are more inclusive and in fact have flatter differences in income.
Yeah.
And in fact these countries in fact strive through their policies to reduce the differences in income by means of certain policies such as progressive taxation, you know?
Right.
Where in Jamaica, for example, all we have in Jamaica, as far as I can see, are what would be called regressive taxation policies.
Right.
Wherein they apply the same constant proportion to everyone, you know?
Right.
So that that results in, for example, a person who's employed, his salary is subject to 25% on income above the threshold.
Right.
16.5% on consumption items through GCT, making over 40% approximately, you know. Right. There's a person who has a large income, say from his dividends and other investments, right?
Right.
They reinvest most of their earnings, their income. So therefore, the part that goes on consumption is only a tiny part of their income.
Right.
So therefore, they are not subject to GCT and the whole of their income as say the normal worker, normal employee.
Yeah.
So that is regressive in that there is more pain coming from people who are less able than from the people who are more able.
Right.
In these countries, which are so-called best countries, and we can call them there so, I mean, they are the so-called Nordic miracles, you know?
Countries.
Right, Scandinavian countries, right. Switzerland, you know?
Yeah.
Canada, and other countries. What you have is that you have less difference in income, and this has been recognized objectively as being a factor to be addressed. And what they're talking about now in international development is all about inclusive development, because it cannot be sustained unless it is inclusive.
But what I say, Kwesi and Jerry, is that I don't hear the politicians talking about this disparity.
They're not concerned. They're not concerned. Not only they're not concerned about that, they're not concerned about explaining these things to the people. You would like to explain these things to the people. You would like to discuss these things to the people. Kwesi would also like it.
Yeah.
They don't want that discussion. They want to get close to power and close to other people with power in other countries and so on and so forth. But thanks for that. I just
right. Have a nice holiday, guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
The listeners here.
Great question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Next one. Good morning. Welcome. Straight up, hello.
Here, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Wagwan.
There. There's a few things I'd like to speak about, you know.
Go ahead, man.
No. The Bible is here fulfilling over some thousand of years.
Yeah.
And as the men come not even reach 100 year old and I criticize the Bible. But I would like them to know that the prophecy of the Bible stands to forever. Now why you a man not telling you about political party have to go to PMP and JLP if he make move.
Yeah.
But I would like him to understand that is one man make the world and in name God. And in destiny, all the kingdom of the world from the days of Nebuchadnezzar to forever. And now is the time when the divided kingdom come to an end. Righteous government will be stepping out early to call the Jamaican people to stand for truth and right. So I would like them to understand, to get to the prophecy of the Bible and understand what is in the Bible. Not as the churchman teach, but as the Bible speak. You hear me, sir?
Yeah. Tell me when I can ask you a question.
Ask me, man. Ask me now.
All right. What is your don't you have a group that you discuss with?
Yeah, man. Me not really have a group like how you have back up 10 or 5 or 10.
Not so much, man. Not so much, man.
I go to and speak with people.
Yes, not so much. Hold on, listen, man. We can't spend so much time on it. I don't mean it's a big group enough, but even 1 or 2 people, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, what is your feeling about land distribution in our country?
You hear me I say no. Every man entitled to land. Because if man ain't have anywhere to go away from land, God would have make them with wings.
Alright, stop there now. If and when your policy come into force,
yeah,
how you would peacefully bring it about?
The earth is the land and the fullness thereof. So every man entitled to a piece of land, my brother.
Let me just ask you.
The home will peacefully bring it about.
Yeah, I want you about the bringing about. I don't want you to recite again, say it right. We know say it right. How we would peacefully bring it about?
Well, what will really happen is that the people will come to the knowledge that there is a God and the world is to the Lord and every man in the world belongs to the Lord.
Yeah.
So him entitled a piece of the earth because the earth is the
Hello. You have to bring it downstairs, you know. So that's why I ask you how we're going to gradually bring it about, because it have to come downstairs, down for earth, you know.
Yeah, man, it will come.
So how you will gradually bring it about, that that every family have living space. How you gradually bring it about?
When the government come to power,
yeah.
No man no one no land of his own.
Yeah, and how you would gradually bring it about?
Listen, man. Every man is entitled to a piece of land.
Alright, hold on. You know what happened? I'm glad they take that stand. I don't think you think about the method yet, but go on thinking about it because maybe you will have to help carry it out. You hear, sir?
No, maybe, man.
But I think that these things have to be thought about and discussed around the world. It's not Jamaica problem alone.
No,
it's a world problem,
man.
And the extreme capitalism we're going on with the world about what? 300 years now or 4? The extreme capitalism cannot continue forever.
No, man.
Thank you very much. Here's that. Call again soon. Morning, welcome on Straight Up. Hello.
Bongo, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yellow Kwesi.
As it's time.
We're really going to country. Because majority of the business people them are making profits. Profits are made left, right, and center.
Yeah, those who stay in business are making profits. Some going out of business.
But every time the little people them forget a little raise up here, a man go talk say, boy, if I mash no one mash up in business.
Yeah.
Because them can't pay this and them can't pay that.
Yeah.
But these businesses are making profits.
Yeah, but politics supposed to be partly about gradually correcting these things.
Right, Virgin.
Yeah, bless us.
You see, if you look at it, there is a very long culture of taking from those who have very little and giving it to those who have a lot in our country. I mean, that was what slavery was all about. And even the years of colonialism was all about that still. Now, the system that we have now politically are those which have been approved, as I said, by our former slave owners and our enslavers and former colonial masters. So what do you expect the system to change radically there? I don't think it is reasonable to expect that. So we now have to look about making those changes so that if not us, our children and grandchildren and those who follow can benefit from it. And we have to understand that the whole behavior of that, I mean, look at it. IMF came here and suggested to the government, take 25% reduction, insist on 25% reduction on our domestic debt to our large bondholders. The bondholders squealed. The government agreed with them and never took it. The bondholders have formed what is called EPOC to ensure that this never happens in the future. But who have they taken it from? National Housing Fund, which is the chief source of funding for housing, for affordable housing for working people.
Yeah, affordable means
affordable, right? For
rich people.
And they are not. And now this is the second blow. The public sector workers, they have now decided to renege on their promises in the MOU of 5 years ago, and now insist that the workers take very little again. So these, and although the workers are not in a position, I mean, what occurred in JDX, NDX, and NDX2 did not affect the standard of living of the financial investors. It affected their assets. Now, what we're talking about is the standard of living of workers in the public sector who are below generally the level of equal workers in the private sector.
Hello, Carla?
Yeah, man.
Make we keep in touch and discuss these things, and gradually more people will know that politics supposed to be about adjusting these things when people become conscious. But call again soon.
One more little point.
No, I have to go for a break and we have several more calls. Can you remember the point and call tomorrow, please?
All right.
Please do that, because we really we can take about 3 or 4 more calls. But thank you very much. Yes, sir. Welcome back to Straight Up. That caller, I really want him call back tomorrow. I raise back those things. I really want to hear from him. I hope you're listening. Please, never really want to curtail you, but just because of the situation here, we want to hear back from you tomorrow. Very interested. Please, not that last caller. Next one. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, Jerry.
Yes, sir. Yes, Garnet.
Morning, Kwesi.
I just Garnet.
Here. People get the leadership they deserve, yeah?
Yeah.
Jerry.
Yeah.
You notice from time to time people say, boy, Jerry, start a thing now.
Yeah.
Make you know, what you think about this matter what is your idea.
Yeah.
You might look somebody for beer.
Yeah. But no, probably not malevolent, you know. Probably not to that bad man, but I'm looking somebody for go and lead, because you know so the bait go and lead.
Alright. Why you see the present leaders now where we are looked upon as sellout? You know, them place in a position to see it for themselves, you know.
Yes.
Because when them go so and take the beer, one of the time when you look around now and I look for strength from the people, are you alone there, you know?
Yeah.
And you will get squashed.
No, hold on there. In this present situation, one of the time when them look around and look for people, support them, they're looking around in the party. They're not looking around amongst the people out the road. Around in the party, them look not among people out the road. Man like Fidel Castro and Eric Williams are people out the road. Also in the party. That's why them man spend so much time educating. Eric Williams spends so much time educating and talking to the people at Trinidad. You wouldn't like no. He is not perfect or not Jesus or God, you know. But him and Castro and Lee Kuan Yew, to the next man, spend a lot of time explaining things to the people. And when him look around the people, them always one step behind him. And he make sure them always one step behind him. Because there's a march going on. That's why you have right mark and you have Lance Corporal and all them things to make sure say everybody in line, nobody drop back no 5-10 space from behind the so-called leadership.
Well, in closing, the land thing, how you would peacefully deal with that?
Well, is that I show you? I have my ideas, but
crown land.
Alright, I have my ideas now, but I require to reason with other people about them things. To straighten out my ideas, I want Kwesi to say something about that.
Yes, Jerry, you know that from the English overthrow and execute King Charles II.
Yes, sir.
The concept of crown lands disappeared from out of the English.
Out of the English?
Yeah.
Only Jamaica it appeared. Yes.
What happened with the English with all of the European colonial powers was that while they were trying to change their home territory and make it more inclusive, they were instituting some very attractive institutions in the colonies. Yeah.
So that's all about clean up them yard.
Right. So this thing about crown land, you know, is a fiction.
Yes.
And what happened is that
in England it don't exist.
No, I mean you don't, because they reasserted their hereditary rights to the land because people were living there before they had these old constitutions, kings or whatever. You know what I mean?
People would know about
hereditary rights.
Me say now is a homestead program.
Yes.
Each community or each parish also X amount of land is available.
Yes.
The land left.
Yes.
Take as much land as you can settle.
Yes, and here is now.
Don't take more.
Yes, look here now. We're going to go have some more program on this.
Yeah.
And this kind of continue in a 3-hour program because this thing must have to be worked out. And it's not just a problem in Jamaica, it's a worldwide problem. This extreme capitalism and landlessness of the majority of people in the world can't go on forever. It cannot, and it's going to be worked out. Peacefully too.
Yeah.
It must be. And who don't want peace? If them want to make war, them can make war.
Yeah, but people need to spend more time to understand where we're going.
Yes,
and stop depending on leader.
No, yes.
Be your own, start by being your own leader.
Yes.
I agree with my 1000%.
Study by yourself and study as a group.
Self-reliance.
And not just study books, study reality and practicality.
Yeah.
But Jerry, you know that the closure of the schools there, the 20 schools, most of them are in the rural areas. It is saying something about the depopulation of the rural areas, and something that needs to be investigated.
And if the people didn't have land, if the people could have lived in the area,
they would have.
Them would be there.
Right.
But because them no own the land or because them can't pay the tax.
And of course the rural road conditions is so bad, but that's a whole next thing again.
But the big men and the government don't mind that, you know?
No.
Because them have cheaper laborers in town. The more you run off hell in a country, lower wages are town for them. Them glad.
But you also have the people who are, what do you call them? Troubling the people in the North Coast.
Yes.
You know? No man, I'm talking to people who are trying to get them to buy things from them. And
yes, harassment.
Harassment.
Alright, quickly next call. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. Hello? Morning, welcome. Straight Up. Go ahead, please. Next one. Hello?
Hello, morning again.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, man. I send special morning to your host there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Much love and respect. You know, full of thought and knowledge.
Yeah.
But, and I want to say, you know, family take care of family. How are you, Moy, and the baby?
Yeah.
You know, I want to say special eye too. You see, exploitation of workforce and labor, income inequality, coupled with high cost of living in Jamaica, is bad recipe for, you know, poor people in Jamaica, so to speak. You know, and listen to that young lady talking about the hotel, you know, exploiting the workforce, you know, down in Montego Bay here. I know the particular hotel she's talking about, and that has been going on for the longest while. You know, and the Minister of Labour knew about it.
Of course they know.
And they are not doing anything because they allow these companies to come in and exploit Jamaican people and let go these big companies and Jamaican people like Mad Dog.
These are the guest lists of their cocktail party.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that is my little contribution.
And they also spend weekends at the hotel, them on weeks free, though. All of them.
Thank you very much, sir. So they allow the Jamaican people to be exploited.
They encourage it. They don't allow it. They encourage it.
They encourage it.
And they collect money out of the farm work program. If you're going to work abroad, them will get money out of it too. Both the government and, well, let me stop right there, sir.
Yes, sir. And when you look at it, $5,600 per week. With the JPS saying recently that if you have an iron, a refrigerator, and something else in your house, it's supposed to run you over $5,000 per month for electricity bill.
That's one
and you're working $5,600 a week.
Yeah.
Just overhead. How can Jamaican people cope?
No,
sir?
No, you don't cope. You don't cope. You're willing to work for less wages. You see, when you're not pressure, you know, you're willing to work for less and less wages. You might think that means that you want more pay. You want more pay, but you're willing to work for less. You're not trying to say it. I really have to go.
Mr. Small, you know that there's a friend. I have a friend working for less than $5,600 a week right now.
I have many friends like that. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Catch up with you.
Next one. Good morning. Welcome. Straight up. Go ahead. Next one. Next one. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello? Come in, please.
Yeah?
Yes, welcome.
Yeah,
welcome.
Good.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Why, it's a thing of independent thing.
Yeah.
You see, this on our boss and what them 47 them spend.
Yeah.
And something so that over $500 million to do the one, though.
Yes.
Yeah, see that the boss among the hospital with the first family of the country. He's in there also fine.
Yeah.
One on a bed for operation.
Yeah.
One bed for recovery of operation. Over 200 patients still in there for heart surgery. You see, no bed is there. Take them. Doctor never complain about it. And then we're there.
Yeah.
So,
when a doctor come out, yeah. When a doctor come talk, I hope them not penalize him.
Yeah. That not at but people have to talk about turn up. If we don't do those things, this thing will never get better.
Yeah. Well, just as you are following the events and understanding them, that is how more and more people must be following the events. Not only following the events and understanding them, we must be relating with the younger people, because a lot of the young people are too preoccupied to grasp plenty of these things. You understand me?
Yeah, I must call my children and can't vote. So
no, me talk about young people. Me talk about young people all 15, 20, 25. A lot of them, we need to say, you're not going to force them, because they're easy to be bored. But the one and two interested to say is Wagwan. Spend some time and reason with them. Help them to understand things. And help them to understand that things don't must be like this. Things do not have to be like this. Because a lot of young people grow up believing, say, boy, you must have ever done, you know. And you must have a send a little sister go get it done. And you must, and there's no other way. No. Young people must be made to know it don't must be like this, and it cannot go on forever. We're not sending
it. That was creative because political power.
Yeah.
And was there.
Yes, man.
And backfire upon him in the long run.
Yes. So keep on, find a 1 and 2 youth, male or female, who will spend a 10 minutes. Don't bore them with no half hour or 1 hour. Spend a 10 minutes understanding some of these things. Yes, sir?
True. Let's have a better day.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, man. One last word. We have a minute.
Yeah, man. It's really time for really critical thinking. You know, they're kind of pushing it in schools, but we want it right through the whole society. You know, everything should be questioned. You know, and it's necessity or desirability be decided. You know, and then we have to move from there because things are not where we want them to be.
Yeah.
And today is the day of independence. We need to reflect on what type of independence, what type of country, and what we can do about it.
Yeah, man. And things can be much better with all of the conditions, with all of the drought and with all of the natural conditions. Things can be better with human endeavor. And I doubt whether the Prime Minister can, and she's not a dunce, but I doubt if the Prime Minister can come right as now and explain about the petrol carry benefits, just like how Andrew Holness can't explain about the fight for emancipation and mixing up bogle and not ridiculing them. The reality is that they have not understood the history, and that's why they will read a speech that have been mistaken and don't even know that there's a mistake there. It's very embarrassing, and this is the level of leadership. This is the level of leadership.
Pinnacle, those are the pinnacles.
These are the heights. These are the commanding heights.
Yeah.
These are the commanding heights in our society. And we're not ridiculing them because they are none of them is dunce. They are very bright, but they're not doing their homework. Well, I want to thank you very much. I want to thank effectively my producer today, who is Mr. Clennon, Vince Clennon, apart from being technical operator. And him get to read 2 text messages off my phone. The first time I ever read text messages off my phone. So I read somewhere today. Thank you very much, here, sir. Straight up. Thank you very much, Kwesi.
Yes, sir.
Straight.